been instructed to begin asset attachment proceedings that may include his presidential pension, though subject to further judicial oversight. Interest on the debt will accrue from October 2021, and the state attorney must report to the court every 3 months on efforts to recover the funds. Zuma's legal team has argued he was not personally liable, but the court has dismissed those claims, stating the repayment order clearly applies to him. Zulfa Khan, Eyewitness News.
Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi says the decision to disband the Crime Prevention Wardens program was not influenced by critics who claimed that it was an illegal unit. Since its establishment in 2023, the wardens have faced legitimacy issues from policing experts and opposition parties. More recently, KZN's top cop Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi told Parliament he believed it was an illegally constituted unit. At a media briefing today, Lesufi announced there will be a phased disbandment of the unit as they undergo training to become provincial traffic officers. Thabiso Koba has more.
The Gauteng government says it currently has 8,800 crime prevention wardens on its books. Over the next 36 months, groups of wardens will be removed from their posts and taken to training colleges in a phased approach. Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi says his focus is on fighting crime rather than engaging in intergovernmental disputes.
I have to go to the public protector, explain why do you have wardens. I have to go to parliament on parliamentary questions. Why do you have wardens? I have to go to hospital to check wardens that are shot at because they are not protected, because people don't want to protect them.
Lesufi says the mandate remains the same, and that is to fight crime in the province. Thabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
At the same time, the Patriotic Alliance is the first political party to declare that it supports Police Minister Senzo Mchunu directive to disband the Political Killings Task Team. The party's Ashley Sauls says the expenses of the task team were becoming problematic and unjustifiable. He made the comments during a sitting of Parliament's ad hoc committee probing allegations of police corruption. He says at the time the task team was still sitting with over 60 unresolved cases. Sauls was questioning Mchunu before he wraps up his testimony later today. He says while he's not convinced by Mchunu's explanation on his links to questionable individuals like murder-accused Vusimuzi Matala, he says the task team had to go.
Your testimony there is very questionable. I'm not convinced by it. But when it comes to the reasons and the evidence before me for disbandment and immediate versus winding down, I saw with facts that I've just put to you why it would be justified.
Meanwhile, a witness before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry has questioned the motive behind a meeting called with investigators by head of organised crime in South Africa, Richard Shibiri. Witness B, one of the investigating officers in the murder case of Vereniging engineer Ahmed Swart, says she was left feeling uncomfortable when called into a meeting with Shibiri to be briefed on the case. This was after Shibiri told the investigating team he was aware that there were 3 envelopes that were flying around to ensure the accused arrested in the matter are granted bail. Oren Singh reports.
Witness B suggests that there was an underlying ulterior motive with the head of organised crime, Richard Shibiri, saying he was aware that bribes are on the table for the investigating team probing the murder of Vereniging engineer Ahmed Swart. Shibiri called the team into his office for a briefing on the case in May last year, a month after Swart was killed. He allegedly told the investigators about envelopes for those involved in the case, as well as the prosecutor and magistrate, in relation to the accused in the Swart murder being granted bail.
Even if maybe the general knows of that, he can't tell me as a junior about it.
She viewed this as enticement.
If you tell me about the monies that are there in relation to the case that I'm investigating, what are you trying to say?
Witness B believes if Shibiri was aware of the envelopes, he should have opened an inquiry to probe the matter. Arun Singh, Eyewitness News.
UN Chief Antonio Guterres has called for the international community to fight back against climate disinformation. Guterres says climate science and data should be protected so that scientists never fear telling the truth. The call comes as nations prepare for next month's COP COP30 summit. The summit is taking place after U.S. President Donald Trump branded climate change as the greatest con job ever. The COP30 summit will be held in the Brazilian Amazon city of Belém from November the 10th to the 21st. The gathering will allow countries to come up with bold new national climate action plans that allow with limiting global temperature rises. Gold is trading at $4,078.77 an ounce. The rand is at 17.46 to the dollar, 23.28 to the pound, 20.24 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $61.32 a barrel.
In Penrose, leaving the Joburg CBD, there's an accident scene M2 eastbound. That's near George Koch, heading towards the Germiston area. Expect delays all the way from Joe Slovo Drive. Also heading into the Joburg CBD, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic M1 southbound between the Killarney Bains and the Crown Interchange. It looks like there's also an accident scene there.
And in your sport, Proteas take a flurry of late wickets on day 3 and only allow Pakistan to take a 23-run lead by stumps. CAF Award nominations out, and Banyana brace themselves for WAFCON qualifier without coach Desiree Ellis.
It's a fine afternoon in Gauteng today. Temperatures have peaked at highs of between 23 and 25 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, former President Jacob Zuma has been ordered to repay nearly 29 million rand in legal fees funded by the state.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app, DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM.
Very good afternoon, everyone. It is 8 minutes past 3 on Wednesday, the 22nd of October. This is 702 Drive with me, John Perlman. Wherever you're listening to us in 702 land, welcome to the show. How does the city of Johannesburg get to grips with crumbling infrastructure and failing service delivery? We'll talk to Executive Mayor Dada Morero about this issue and others. That's after 4. Some other stories we're doing as police promise action on gang violence in Westbury. The community continues to grieve the loss of 2 young people and ask themselves, who is next? More on that situation with James Sietelo. He's from Kofifi FM, which is a community station in the area. Oren Singh is watching the Maglanga Commission, you heard him a moment ago, where more information is emerging about internal police strife undermining action, much needed action against criminals and their syndicates. Oren with us after 5. And news just in, as you heard from Mbali Dlamini, former President Jacob Zuma has been ordered by the Gauteng High Court to pay back nearly 29 million rand. This is for legal fees funded with public money, which the courts have found he ought to have paid for himself. News 24's Karen Morn joins us for that story shortly. We've got all that and a whole lot more on 702 Drive, including breaking news from the roads, in our regular traffic updates, and the latest from the markets. It's been another rough day, I can tell you, on the JSE, with both the All Share and the Rand taking some pretty serious hits. The All Share is down by 980 points. That's 0.91%. That's pretty bad, but it gets much worse if you're long on gold and platinum. The resource index is down by 5.4%. Leading the losers, DRD Gold weaker by 9%, Anglo Gold and Goldfields by 7.9%. Northam, the platinum producer, weaker by 4%. As for the Rand, our currency is trading at 17 Rand 46 against the US dollar. That's 11 cents down from this time yesterday. A euro will cost you 20 Rand 23. That's a 9-cent dip. And 23 Rand 27 will get you a pound. Again, a negative shift for the Rand in the case of sterling of 7 cents. Oil price is up by 92 cents. I actually put it in my notes as $92. Relax. You don't have to fasten that seatbelt on your couch. 92 cents, with Brent crude trading at $62.45 a barrel. Stephen Curtis with us with all the details at 4:25. We'll bring you sport with Anthony Teixeira, an intriguing day of Test cricket. Were you watching? Kagiso Rabada, I think, made 71 off 61 balls in a 10th wicket stand of almost 100. Love the 5-day game, me. Mbali Dlamini has the latest news headlines, and Karabo Chale is keeping an eye on the roads. This is 702 Drive. We're live in the place where you live, and if it's happening in 702 land, you'll hear it here first. With your help, of course, if there's something we've missed, please do call us on 011-883-0702. If there's either a point we've missed or a story we've missed, 072-702-1702. You can send us a WhatsApp, either text or a voice note to just fill us in on what we need to catch up on. 702 Drive, 3:12. It's 12 minutes past 3.
702.
Let's walk the talk.
When you forget what you're about to say, just repeat yourself. In case people missed the time check the first time round, it's 3:12. No, in all seriousness, no, lots to talk about, lots to inquire about, lots to think about. Sometimes we bring in some fairly random thoughts, but I have to say that the topic we thought about for today is one that is prompted by something that's in the news. If I look up at the ENCA coverage on at the moment, there are crowds of people outside the Milnerton High School. Apparently police have fired tear gas. I'm not entirely sure what prompted that. We'll find out and let you know. But at issue here is a video of some absolutely awful bullying of a young high school learner at Milnerton. Somewhere in my mind, I recall having him referred to as a grade 10 learner. But he's getting bullied, he's getting beaten, and in addition to the physical pain, there is the humiliation of this all being filmed and the jeering and laughing and absolutely unrestrained enjoyment by some other learners who are not actually doing the bullying, the physical bullying, but are, well, absolutely without hesitation taking part in the mental cruelty of all of this. So a question that came to mind, because we were chatting about this a little bit earlier, and the question kind of popped up: what would you do if you were a parent of a child being treated like that? It doesn't really matter whether it's been filmed and spread on social media. I get that that adds to the deepening of the wound and the rubbing in of salt into that wound, but I don't think it depends on anything like that. The bullying may be something perhaps a little less obvious and dramatic, but painful nonetheless. And the question we would ask is, how would you respond if your child or a child with whom you have some kind of relationship of care? So it doesn't have to be a blood tie. It could be someone who's in your care for other reasons. How would you respond if they're being bullied? And if you've walked that road, because I'm assuming a good number of you have, what did you do and how did things turn out? So call us with that on 011-883-0702, 072-702-1702. 3:15. Jonathan Fairburn, I mean, I don't know if you've been in that situation, maybe when you were younger and your folks had to make a call on this, but perhaps your responses because we were watching that video together, and I think we both had quite strong feelings.
Yeah, afternoon, John, and to our 702 family. I think it must be a heck of a difficult thing for parents to be in that situation. I mean, I luckily wasn't bullied as a youngster growing up, and I don't have kids. But I would imagine, if you're a parent, a father, and your youngster comes home, whether it's the boy or girl, and they say to you, "This is what's happening." If you have a close enough relationship that they can tell you something like that, because sometimes kids will keep this stuff to themselves and withdraw completely. I would imagine your first instinct as a parent would be one of anger and one of protection. So you would want to do something, but you what do? You go and confront the bully at school. There's all kinds of issues and that you'd probably find yourself in with. Then you would say, well, go report it to the school. So how many times have we heard where parents have reported bullying to schools and not much gets done,
right,
generally speaking? So what do? It's I don't have the answers to that, but I would imagine it's a heck of a difficult thing. I've seen videos online in the US where what's happened, what we've discussed, where these parents will go and confront the playground bully or whatever it may be,
Yes.
and end up assaulting the bully.
Yeah.
Giving them a smack, or finding the bully's parents and ending up in a fisticuff with the bully's parents. So it's such a difficult situation.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd do if I was in that situation.
No, I think you're raising important questions, and I'll add one more. Sometimes the young person says, listen, I don't want you to get involved.
Don't do anything.
Because the secondary thing that they may happen will say, oh, you had to send your father, hey? And here we go, and you're into another layer and another attempt to actually exploit someone you perceive to be weak.
I mean, martial arts, if you have a young boy or girl and they are, continuously this is happening, do you enroll them into a martial arts kind of class if they want to?
Yes.
And then, let them kind of defend themselves if it comes to that. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, Karabo, you have a young son. We've spoken about stuff in his life before. I don't know if this is a something about which you have some thoughts.
100%. When I was in school, I used to get bullied, and it got physical at some point because I'm quite little, but I could protect myself because I befriended like rugby boys, so they kind of protected me. So when I told my dad that, hey, there's these guys kind of, ruffling me at school, and he'll be like, so what should we do? Because if we move you or confront this issue, if we move you to another school, you're going to get the same situation. So you have to deal with it. So it was upon me to deal with it. He was like, I'm too busy to deal with these kind of things. But with me, I'm totally different. Any little thing that has to do with my son, they know first thing in the morning, I'm there at school.
Yes.
Trying to figure out what happened,
Yes.
But then the other difficulty, like you were saying with my son, he doesn't get physically bullied, but I think I've picked up some teasing, with some things. And when I tell him when he's like, his self-esteem is kind of low, I'm like, who's teasing you? What's going on? The tricky part of it is that he doesn't want to reveal who's doing the bullying. So it's hard to actually go to the teacher or go to the school and say, this is what's happening. This person is doing this to my son, and can we deal with it? So it's quite difficult. But then, there's ways to deal with it, I guess.
Yeah, well, let's hear from all of you. And you might have dealt with the situation. I can just see now that footage is up on the screen again as various people gather outside the Milnerton High School. We'll try and get you an update on the latest situation there a little bit later in the show. 072 702 1702, 19 past 3.
John is on X.
At John Perlman.
Traffic, let's get the latest from the roads then. Karabo Chale, good afternoon.
Well, at this stage, John, if you are heading towards the Germiston area, leaving the Joburg CBD, there's an accident seen in the Penrose area on the M2 eastbound near George Goch, causing more than an hour delay all the way from Joe Slovo Drive. So if you are leaving the Joburg CBD, heading towards Ekurhuleni, avoid the M2 at all costs. Rather use Main Reef Road or Heidelberg Road via City Deep as an alternative. In Parktown, also traffic sluggish M1 southbound between Killarney Pens and the double-decker section. In Sharon Lee, also bumper-to-bumper traffic. That's on Malibongo Drive between Belez and the N1. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Manyatela.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
How powerful Katie Molefe is. When you get arrested, helicopter hovering over your house, which is not part of the team that's come to arrest you. And then there's a Hawks team that comes to your house to question the police officers who are arresting you, and they're asking them, what are you doing? And then you've got the head of organized crimes who calls the detective who made the arrest and says, what you have done is not fine. Why are you arresting this chap like that? Shadrach Sibiya is not happy. Shadrach Sibiya is the Deputy National Police Commissioner. I mean, how powerful are you that when there's an arrest effected against you, all hell break loose? Hawks gets involved. The Deputy National Commissioner gets upset about something. The head of organized crimes is upset about that. And remember, Katie Molefe is now out on bail.
Clements Manyatela.
9 to 12 on 702.
Wine Speak, you've heard it all before. Black currants, plums, vanilla. This year, Standard Bank WineX presents a voice voyage of discovery. Map your own route and let wine enrich the journey. WineX is brought to you by Standard Bank Private. It's the South African wine industry under one roof. Live a wealthier life with Standard Bank Private and WineX at Sandton Convention Centre, 29 to 31 October from 5 to 9 p.m. Tickets at Web Tickets. Enjoy responsibly. 18 and over. Visit winex.co.za.
Every day I'm hustling. It's our reality as business owners. And it's good to know that there's someone out there who takes care of the business that makes the business. Gotta love My Way Business Insurance. Saving big on premiums with 24/7 emergency services. Plus, My Business Assist with marketing, legal, and labor advice services.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
Medical care, like music, needs continuity. A steady rhythm and pattern. Patients attended to on time. Medication taken as prescribed. Cut the rhythm, and it falls apart. Right now, global funding cuts are restricting access to healthcare. With your support, Doctors Without Borders can continue to provide medical care to communities worldwide. Because medicine, like music, only works when uninterrupted. Doctors Without Borders. We go there.
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Well, let's deal with that story now, leading Mbali Dlamini's bulletin just a few moments ago. Former President Jacob Zuma has been ordered by the Gauteng High Court that he must pay back money incurred during his private litigation over the years. The amount of money involved is around 29 million rand. A couple of key questions that come out of that news, and let's put them to someone who's following it very, very closely indeed. Karen Morn, News 24 legal journalist, is with us. Karen, thanks so much for your time. I suppose two questions come to mind for me. The one is there were issues around possibly accessing the former president's pension. Was anything said or resolved in that regard? And secondly, is there still a further appeal route that is open to the former president?
Well, John, to be quite frank, he's never stood in the way, he's never not appealed. And I think given the kind of massive prejudice that this ruling represents for him, he's definitely going to do that. He, of course, had argued vociferously that the SCA ruling that was given in 2021, so this litigation is literally over the legal fees has literally been going on for 6 years, had effectively said that, not said that he was directly liable for the money. The court has said, look, the SCA order makes it explicitly clear that you are liable. You are going to have to pay back that money. But I think we can strongly suspect, given the arguments that were already raised in the High Court, that Jacob Zuma will attempt to appeal this decision.
So let's go then to the pension and other assets. What does the ruling say in that regard? Judge Anthony Miller, earlier in the piece, and we had a conversation about this, Karen seemed to be saying that was, I wouldn't necessarily put words in his mouth and call it cruel and unusual punishment, but he seemed to be steadfastly against that unless he was just airing an issue.
I think the interesting thing with this is that what had happened was the DA had extreme misgivings about the possibility that the state attorney, given the sort of protracted history and given its failure to act on that SCA ruling for something like 3 years, that there would be a danger that if an order for repayment was made, no steps would be taken to recover the money.
Right.
So they have now sought and obtained a ruling from Miller that says if Jacob Zuma fails to pay back this money within 60 days, the state attorney must then obtain a writ of execution, which is also a court process. So they would then go to the court and say, Jacob Zuma owes us this 28.9 million rand. We want to attach his property. They can't attach Nkandla because it's owned by the Ngomiyama Trust, but whatever immovable assets that he may have to recover that money. And they've also said that they can then obtain an order for attachment of his pension. But that would then be a separate court process. The importance of this judgment is that it holds a firm line for the state attorney. The state attorney, if Jacob Zuma doesn't pay back that money, doesn't appeal, whatever, they must then take 60 days and immediately implement steps to then orchestrate another court process, which would then result in the attachment. But we know, for instance, and this came out in the court process, that a judgment was given against Jacob Zuma for that, I think it was about 7.6 million rand over the VBS loan that he obtained to pay back the money for the Nkandla security upgrades. And in the court papers, as was pointed out by the president's own lawyers, there's no evidence that he paid that money back. In fact, there was a point that was made by the presidency that said, look, this man never pays back anything.
Thank you so much. Karen Moore, News 24 legal journalist, 27 minutes past 3.
Drive Home with John Perlman
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
Let's focus our attention now on the community of Westbury. And welcome to the show, James Sietelo, who's head of news at Kofifi FM. It's a community radio station that is very, very popular in that community. James, welcome, and thanks very much for giving us your time. So often one hopes that in the midst of tragedy, there's some kind of turning point where people actually realize that when you get young lives taken away in this way and the violence between gangs becomes so evident and out in the open, that it might be some kind of tipping point. Do you have any optimism, though, about that? Because I think it's fair to say Westbury has been down, if not exactly this road before, something quite similar. Is there any optimism on the Westbury streets today at all?
Yeah, good afternoon to you, John. And I must say thank you so much for always allowing us this platform to speak about issues that are affecting the community of Westbury and the surrounding areas. So now the question whether we are optimistic that perhaps things are going to change is a difficult question to answer, and I'll tell you why. Because I previously had a conversation with you. We spoke about the same thing when Bheki Cele was still the Minister of Police. And I remember also speaking to you when even Ketla Sithole was still the Police Commissioner. Unfortunately, John, that is not the sentiment the sentiments that community members are expressing. They are not actually seeing anything positive coming out of this deployment that we see in our communities. They are not really surprised. They are devastated, yes, for the loss of lives that we have seen, but they are not really surprised. It is more like the repeated nature of violence in our communities, where it has now become worse, where children are now shooting children, teenagers are shooting children or other teenagers, and that is actually what is breaking the spirit of Westbury. So are people hopeful that things are going to change? Not really, not really, John.
And just in terms of the families and the young people who were shot at but who survived the shooting, is there any conversation at all about any kind of special protection for them? They must continue to feel, I would think, extremely vulnerable.
Absolutely. And earlier today we had a conversation with one of the grandmothers of one of the victims. And unfortunately, she mentioned that earlier this morning she went to the school, and some community members were asking her the very same question that you are asking now. So why are you walking alone in the street? Don't you perhaps fear that something will happen to you? And she mentioned earlier on in a conversation with us and other media houses that she is just putting her faith in God and hoping that nothing will happen to her. But on different social media platforms, there are some Facebook groups that have been created allegedly by some of these different gangs, where if maybe they believe that John is a threat, they will speak about you on that particular Facebook platform, Facebook page, and just threaten you there. And it is something that is happening continuously.
Thank you so much, James Sietelo, head of news at Kofifi FM. If you live out in Westbury and you want to engage with us or share your thoughts, please do 072 702 1702.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings,
8 to midnight.
We need to be a bit honest with ourselves. The corruptor and the corruptee are part of the same corruption. When you create a narrative that says, no, I was ignorant in this transaction, but like a deranged fool. And now we must sit here and be, shame, you didn't know. It's the fault of these ones. These ones they are very bad. They corrupted me. No, Papa. Now go you didn't care about whether or not you were ignorant or not ignorant. You ate.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
Prime Media, South Africa's most trusted media group, presents Prime Impact, a free 1-hour business seminar running daily at the Prime Media offices in Sandton from 3 to 7 November. Learn how radio and digital can reach your target market and grow your business with more customers. Every registered business receives a tailored demo ad and a simple campaign plan, plus access to event-only package opportunities. Seats are limited, so secure your spot now. Register at primeimpact.co.za. That's primeimpact.co.za.
Dreaming of a tropical escape? World Leisure Holidays has your ticket to paradise with exclusive getaways to the Indian Ocean Islands. From the beaches of Mauritius and the Maldives to the charm of Madagascar, Seychelles, Zanzibar and more, your dream destination awaits. Take advantage of early bird specials and pay stay offers. Call 011-285-2500 and mention 702 for a mystery discount. Or follow us on social media or contact your nearest travel professional. Start planning your escape today. T's and C's apply.
The stage, the lights, the crowd, everything's perfect until suddenly someone slips on the dance floor. A speaker lands in the buffet. In an instant, your masterpiece is a mess. That's why Auto & General is there with Events Liability Insurance. We handle the unexpected so you don't have to. Plan the party, wow the guests, leave the rest to us. For more information on Events Liability Insurance, visit autogen.co.za. Auto & General, never not there. Auto & General is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online.
He's the boss, the legend, the sound of a generation, and now his story hits the big screen. 702 is giving you the chance to win big. Play 2 truths and a lie, 3 Bruce Springsteen facts, one of them is not true. WhatsApp Springsteen ZA to 072-702-1702, and we could be calling you to play. Spot the lie and win cash and a collector's vinyl package, only on 702. 27:24 now. Let's get the latest news headlines. We go down to Milnerton High, I believe, where police are involved. Let's get the latest from Mbali Dlamini.
Thanks, John. Good afternoon. Public order police have fired stun grenades to disperse a group of protesters outside the Milnerton High School today. Demonstrators led by members of the EFF Youth Command gathered at the school following the assault of a grade 10 learner. Earlier today, precautionary suspension letters were issued to 8 grade 11 learners who were allegedly involved in the assault. Carlo Peterson has more.
EFF Youth Command convener Simankele Mteli says the protesters gathered at the school today in solidarity with the victims of the assault.
We are here to call on the management and the principal to order for their lack of response and to also ask a question of what has happened to the teachers who the incident was reported to.
Mtele says the incident was reported on Friday last week, but the school only took action after a video of the incident went viral on social media platforms yesterday. The Western Cape Education Department has indicated an internal investigation into the matter is still underway. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News at Milnerton High School.
Back here in Johannesburg, one of the survivors of the deadly Westbury shooting says the attack on him and his friends was driven by hate. The 19-year-old is the first of 5 victims who survived the ordeal to be discharged from hospital. Yesterday, a group of 4 teenagers opened fire on the group of 7, killing 2 and injuring 5 others. Police suspect the motive behind the shooting is gang-related, but survivor Carl Mento says he and his friends aren't part of or affiliated to any gangs. Thando Luhlengcobo reports.
19-year-old Carl Mentor recalls yesterday's traumatic shooting.
We were sitting here on a stoop yesterday, so about 4 guys came in, started shooting at us, and my friend tried to protect me.
Wearing a black hooded jacket with a dark green beanie, he tried to cover his injuries. Mentor sustained a gunshot wound to his right ear. His friend who tried to protect him is one of the 2 who didn't survive.
When they shot me in my ear, it lay over me. They shot him in the neck and in the back.
He adds that he knows exactly who shot at him and his friends.
Honestly, the guy who put us hit on us, he stay about us brown house here. Not scared to say it's Avery. That guy doesn't like us.
Mentor says the same group has targeted him and his friends before, but this time they had nowhere to run. Thando Luhlengcobo, Eyewitness News.
Action SA has announced it will open internal applications for its Johannesburg mayoral candidates soon. It comes as political parties continue to prepare for the upcoming local government elections. The Johannesburg municipality is expected to be fiercely contested, with polls indicating a continued decline in support for the ANC. The DA recently named Helen Zille as its mayoral candidate. Speaking to journalists in the Joburg CBD today, Action SA National Chairperson Michael Beaumont announced that the party's mayoral candidate selection process will officially launch next week.
But ultimately, we have a candidate selection policy that says when we initiate a process for a mayoral electoral college, we need to open up applications and we'll make a decision based on the applications, what avenue we go down. In terms of
He says Action SA leader Herman Mashaba will also apply to be the party's mayoral candidate for Joburg if necessary.
At the end of the day, whether Herman wishes to apply to be a candidate will be a choice that he needs to undertake. There are certainly many people in the party, and I count myself amongst them, who know that there's nobody who can fix Joburg like Herman Mashaba.
And UN Chief Antonio Guterres has called for the international community to fight back against climate disinformation. Guterres says climate science and data should be protected so that scientists never fear telling the truth. The call comes as nations prepare for next month's COP30 summit. The summit is taking place after US President Donald Trump branded climate change as the greatest con job ever. The COP30 summit will be held in the Brazilian Amazon city of Belém from November the 10th to the 21st. The gathering will allow countries to deliver bold new national climate action plans that align with limiting global temperature rise. A sunny Thursday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Lows of between 11 and 13 degrees and highs of between 27 and 28.
Accident seen in the Penrose area, leaving the Joburg CBD heading towards Germiston on the M2 eastbound. That's near George Koch, causing heavy delays all the way from Joslovo Drive. Also slow-moving traffic in the Parktown area on the M1 southbound between Killarney Bends and the double-decker section.
The top story in EWN, public order police have fired stun grenades to disperse a group of protesters outside the Milnerton High School in Cape Town today.
Africa Milani.
Weekday mornings,
4 to 6.
What have been some of the main takeaways from the 4 days now that the Member of Parliament, Sendum Kunu, has been leading his own evidence, but also facing questions from other members of Parliament at that ad hoc committee?
What we observed, he made a second attempt to provide with evidence that there was an attempt by General Mukhonazi to make a certain kind of threat. He dismissed the suggestions that he planned to dine with Pran Mkhosi and Masala.
Professor Jacob Mofokeng, an independent crime and security expert.
Africa Milani.
4 to 6 on 702.
Celebrate the diverse musical expressions that connect us across borders, languages, and cultures, honoring ancestral sounds that have echoed across the continent for generations at Nyrox Sculpture Park in the Cradle of Humankind. It all happens on Sunday, the 2nd of November. Good Neighbours is a dynamic gathering of African artists, both emerging and established, exploring indigenous instruments, layered harmonies, rhythms, and innovative interpretations of traditional sounds. Featuring Amadodana Asiwesile, Zawadi Yamungu, and Silent Ngo, among others, as well as MC Loyiso Gola. Limited tickets are available from nyroxarts.com. Nyrox is a private not-for-profit foundation to benefit the arts. All income is used to maintain the grounds, the artist residency program, and artist support.
The future of mobility is here, and it's powered by clean energy. Join business leaders, policymakers, and innovators at the NEV Summit 2025, taking place on 22 and 23 October. Together, we're driving Africa's green industrial revolution, building new industries, creating jobs, and positioning Gauteng as the hub of sustainable mobility. Visit evsummit2025.co.za to learn more. The NEV Summit 2025, driving Gauteng towards a green automotive economy.
You are not dreaming. You are repeating. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
702. WhatsApp John
on 072
702
1702.
Hey John, I have a 3-year-old, and if he was being bullied at school, I would definitely take it up with the school. I would not take it lightly, and I would hold the school accountable. And if it escalated to the point where this one has escalated, I would definitely take legal action against the school, because when my child is in school, his safety is the school's responsibility, and that includes looking after him when it comes to things like bullying. So I would hold the school accountable. Thanks, Agnes and Harsies.
Afternoon, John and the team. In response to your question, if you take the two leading stories on our news cycle right now, it's the Melnerton incident of bullying, where a grade 10 student is being bullied over a rugby game that was lost. At the same time, we're dealing with a situation in West Dean, where according to reports by one of the parents of the victims is that these kids were being bullied, they dropped out of school, and that is how they found themselves where they are right now with gangs. Those two stories speak so much to each other, and that should be the starting point of this whole issue.
Very interesting observation, and coincidentally, Kingsley picks up on that and says bullying has got out of control in our country. We failed to deal with the root causes, absent fathers, the failure to deal with gangsterism, schools without a clear and effective anti-bullying policy, the violent content our children have easy access to, etc. I'm inclined to say we actually need effective proactive programs that should be part of the school curriculum, supported by communities in order to change attitudes and behaviors around something that has tragically become normal. He concludes, how many more young lives must we lose before we act decisively? 17-4.
EWN Sport.
Anthony Teixeira, very good afternoon to you. Quite a day of Test cricket, eh? You've got the details.
Yeah, good afternoon, John. Soren Mutusami's 89 not out. Kagiso Rabada's quick 71, saving the Proteas blushes on day 3 of the second test against Pakistan. The pair's 98-run 10th wicket stand helped the South Africans to a 71-run lead from that first innings. Here's Mutusami.
KG was exemplary. It was an innings of the highest standard. I think the ball striking in those conditions was superb. He's such a naturally free flowing batter. Yeah, I ended up playing a bit of a supporting role as the innings went on, because he was just seeing it so nicely and hitting it so clean.
The Proteas took that momentum into the bowling, with Simon Harper taking 3 for 26 and Rabada 1 for 222, as they restricted the hosts to just 94 for 4 by stumps. Bazam and Mohammad Rizwan ending the day at the crease on 49 and 16 respectively. Zimbabwe won the test against Afghanistan within 3 days. Their innings and 73-run victory ending a run of 6 successive test losses. While at the Women's Cricket World Cup, England lost regular wickets throughout their innings against Australia. However, Tammy Beaumont's anchor half-century saw them posting 244 for 9. While in football, the 2025 CAF nominations are out. Morocco fullback Hakimi, Egypt's forward Salah, and Nigeria's Osimhen have been named on the 10-player shortlist. No South Africans there in the men's or the women's categories. However, our national goalkeepers Ronan Williams and Andile Dlamini are up for the respective men and women's goalkeeper of the year. Banyana and Bafana also up for National Team of the Year. Banyana will have an away game today to contend with against DR Congo in the first leg of their women's AFCON qualifier. Banyana are without coach Desiree Ellis, who didn't travel with the team as she's yet to finalize her contract with SAFA. Her assistant coach Tinosonke Mbule is set to take charge of the team in her absence and says they're bracing themselves for a difficult encounter.
Obviously, we know it's going to be tough. They are playing a home match in front of their home crowd. But as we are saying, it's a qualifier for WAFCON. Obviously, the plan is to go back to WAFCON, and the only way you can go back to WAFCON is to jump this hurdle, which is DR Congo, and then qualify for WAFCON.
Kickoff is 6 p.m. Later in the evening. The Betway Premiership has Orlando Pirates taking on Polokwane City. Kaizer Chiefs up against Siwalele. Stellenbosch face off against Golden Arrows. While there were 43 goals scored during match day, it's threes of the UEFA Champions League's Tuesday fixtures. Barcelona, Newcastle, PSG, Inter and Arsenal all picking up comprehensive wins, while Pep Guardiola oversaw a 2-0 win in Spain over Villarreal with Man City. Despite Erling Haaland having scored 15 goals across just 11 appearances in his season so far for the Sky Blues, Guardiola had some advice for him.
We need more fresh movement for Erling, but understand play a lot of minutes. Sometimes we make a movement in behind it didn't happen. There is actions in the second half, like we make a good, incredible build-up. We break the lines, and instead to go, we come back. No. So with the opening comes, you have to make close, break the lines, right, left, in the middle. Now go. You have to attack.
Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
Right, let's find out what's going on in the traffic and get the very latest from Karabo Chale. Problems in the CBD, I believe.
Yes, John, as if you're leaving the Joburg CBD heading towards Germiston, there's slow-moving traffic in the Penrose area. That's due to an accident scene M2 eastbound near George Koch. This is causing more than an hour delay all the way from Joe Slover Drive in Parktown. You can also expect about a 20-minute delay on the M1 southbound between Killarney Bends and the double-decker section. In Sharon Lee, bumper-to-bumper traffic on Malibongo Drive between Belez and the N1. Also in the Protea Glen area in Soweto. Expect some delays. This is on the N12 westbound between the R554 Abu Bakr Drive and the R558. And finally in Centurion, traffic heavily backed up N1 northbound between Botha Avenue and the Rigel off-ramp. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Celebrate the legend and score like a rock star. It's time to win big with Springsteen. Deliver Me From Nowhere and 702.
He's the boss, the legend, the man whose music defined generations. Now his story comes alive on the big screen with Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, in cinemas from 24 October. And 702 is giving you the chance to win big. We're celebrating the icon with 2 truths and a lie, 3 facts about Bruce Springsteen. One of them, it's not quite true. WhatsApp the keyword Springsteen ZA to 072 702 1702, and we could be calling you to play. Spot the lie, and you could win 2,000 Rand cash and a chance to go into the draw for a Bruce Springsteen Nebraska 82 Expanded Edition LP box set. Long name there, but the key point about it all is it's a fabulous prize that every fan will envy. Only on 702. Experience Deliver Me From Nowhere, a powerful cinematic journey into Bruce Springsteen's raw and emotional search for authenticity, connection, and meaning. Inspired by the creation of his iconic Nebraska album, this film dives deep into the man behind the music, his struggles, his soul, and the sound that defined generations. Only in cinemas from 24 October. So, 2 truths and a lie. Let's play it, and welcome to the show, Dean in Four Ways. Dean, a very good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Thanks, John. Thank you very much. Thanks for calling me.
Favorite Springsteen song?
That's a difficult one, John, but I got to say it's Darlington County from the Bruce Springsteen Born in the USA album.
Fabulous.
It's a story about how...
Yeah,
Darlington County. Brilliant song.
Okay, now I'm going to give you 3 facts. You must tell me which one is a lie. Okay, number 1. He's played concerts that lasted over 4 hours. He once worked as a gardener between tours. And fact number 3, his first album sold fewer than 25,000 copies. One of them is a lie. Tell us which one, Dean.
It's a tough one, and I'm thinking, I can't remember Springsteen working as a gardener.
There we go.
Yeah, so that's a lie for me.
Yeah, it's a lie for you, and it's true that you've just won yourself 2,000 Rand. Fabulous, Dean. A real...
Thank you, man. I'm a big Bruce Springsteen fan,
Yeah.
John, and I think you are too.
Yeah,
brilliant. I saw him live in South Africa.
Okay, that's. I wish we had time to chat about the concert because I missed it, but that for another day. So 2,000 Rand, Dean, but let me add something as well. There is a collector's vinyl package Nebraska 82. It's an expanded edition LP box set, which will take you back to the early days of your love affair with this artist. And you're in the draw, Dean. We'll let you know on Friday if your luck continues right here on 702. So 2,000 Rand, chance to win that box set. All of this thanks to Disney on 702.
At the heart of global conversations shaping our future, Africa's voice is more important than ever. As proud lead sponsor of the B20, the Standard Bank Group is honored to showcase the continent's growth, partnerships, and potential on the world stage. Because driving Africa's growth isn't just our ambition, it's our purpose. Tune in every Monday from 3 p.m. for the Standard Bank B20 In Brief for key insights and updates around the B20. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Welcome to the brand new days.
Sail the world with Norwegian Cruise Line, with more to see, more to do, and more to enjoy. Plus, upgrade your holiday with NCL's More at Sea for premium beverages, specialty dining, and much more. Think international cruising. Think NCL. For the best deals available, visit ncl.com or contact your travel agent. Restrictions apply.
Welcome to the brand new days.
Feel the rhythm of summer at the Old Mutual Music in the Gardens, featuring Mikasa and Jazeel Brothers, live on Saturday, 25 October at the Walter Sisulu Botanical Garden. Experience soulful sounds, sunshine, and good vibes in one of Joburg's most beautiful settings. Get your tickets now at webtickets.co.za. Proudly presented by Old Mutual, 702 and Breakout Events.
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes to 4 on 702 Drive. We're going to talk about tourism. We're going to talk about KZN. 702 is in conversation with KZN Tourism and Film. Whether you're in tourism, trade, or township enterprise, KZN is not just hosting events, it's building a global gateway. Really exciting things happening in that province. More than 1.8 billion Rand generated in business tourism revenue in KwaZulu-Natal since 2020. So let's welcome two guests who've been at the heart of these efforts and have some really interesting things to say about it. First of all, Sandile Makanya is Acting Marketing and Communications Executive at the Durban International Convention Centre. Mr. Makanya, welcome and thanks for giving us your time.
Thank you. We're excited to be here. Thank you.
Joining us as well is James Seymour. He's had a long role in working on conferences and bidding for them. Right now he's Managing Director of Cathkin Booking and Management Services, and they're focusing very much on the Drakensberg region and the possibilities of bringing tourists in for that. James Seymour, welcome to you as well.
Thanks, John.
So, Sandila, I want to start with you. I mean, it's been some rough years, I would have thought, for something like the International Convention Centre. You've got a massive asset. Running costs are, I would think, onerous to say the least. And then you get a period like COVID, which would have stretched you. But you seem to be on a roll now with more and more events coming to Durban and to the ICC. What's turned it around for you? Good afternoon.
Thank you. So I think one of the things that assisted us a lot is collaboration. The partnership with Durban ICC, Durban Convention Bureau, the city, which is the eThekwini municipality, and the KZN Tourism and Film Authority is basically a model of how institutions can work together, to create a real economic, value. So what we basically do is basically bring a unique strengths, and with the ICC contributing in operational excellence in terms of international event management, and the city is always willing to provide logistical support and destination marketing, while tourism and film, they basically strengthen our international reach and storytelling. So basically together we present just one Durban, so which is a world-class destination that inspires in global organizers and association. So I think that's what basically kept us going.
Yeah, well, that's really good to hear that. Now, I want to come to you, James, and ask you this. I mean, the Drakensberg is obviously a distance from Durban. It's an area that stretches quite wide. where does this focus on meetings, incentives, conferences, exhibitions create opportunities for Drakensberg? Because if it does, that means the rural parts of KZN also get a little piece of this action.
Yes, definitely, John. One of the ways in which the Drakensberg benefits from business events is through what is referred to as pre and post tours.
Okay.
A critical element of bids for key meetings, particularly conventions, is the appeal of a destination. And very often delegates want to visit destinations of the like of the Drakensberg. But over and above that, the Drakensberg's also very fortunate enough to have another major convention centre. There's a substantial convention centre in the Champagne Valley or the Cathkin Park area of the Drakensberg. It's part of the Champagne Sports Resort. It's a substantial venue with 2 plenary venues that can accommodate up to 1,000 delegates in each venue. So we're fortunate in that respect. And then another important component of business events is what is referred to as incentives. Incentives being a means by which corporates motivate their staff to perform better, and by offering them novel experiences. And the Drakensberg is an ideal destination for such novel experiences.
Yeah.
So we benefit a lot from that. And the wonderful thing is that tourism is essentially made up of small and medium enterprises. And when you have these pre and post tours, or if you have meetings in an area like the Drakensberg, your small bed and breakfast establishments, your guest houses, your tourist guides, your transport providers, they tend to be small.
Absolutely.
So they benefit in that respect, John.
Yeah, well, that's great. Now, just coming back to Mr. Makanya, I mean, the ICC in Durban now has World Trade Center status. So what does that mean, and what benefits derive from that?
Thanks. So in terms of that, so firstly, we are honored to have a World Trade Center in Durban, the first city to have a World Trade Center in South Africa. But Durban ICC as recognition as a World Trade Center, it's a game changer for KwaZulu-Natal's MICE strategy. So it actually positions Durban not just as Africa's leading convention destination, but as a global hub. So that status connects Durban to international network of more than 300 World Trade Centers across nearly 100 countries. That assist in opening doors to trade, investment, and collaboration opportunities. So for our province, this basically means that the Durban can now serve as a gateway for global commerce, linking the local business communities with international partners and market. And it also strengthens our ability to host a large-scale trade and investment forums, as well as creating synergies between the MICE trade and industrial sectors. So in essence, this milestone aligns perfectly with the KZN broader economic vision, which aims at promoting inclusive growth, facilitating market access for local businesses, as well as attracting sustained investment in our region.
Well, best of luck with the work that you're doing, and now thanks to Sandile Makanya joining us from the Durban International Convention Centre. James Seymour joined us from Cathkin Booking and Management Services. Good luck to you both, and thanks for your time on 702 Drive. KwaZulu-Natal is South Africa's fastest growing business tourism hub, and the numbers prove it. Since 2020, business events have injected 1.8 billion rand into the province. MICE, meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibitions, is driving inclusive growth, reaching even rural and township communities. With strong public-private partnerships, Africa's travel indaba secured through 2030, and Durban's ICC, now a World Trade Center, KZN is building momentum. It's not just hosting events, it's where Africa meets to do business. It's 4 o'clock.
This is EWN.
The DA says the latest cost order against Jacob Zuma is a victory for taxpayers, and tensions outside the Milnerton High School following the assault of a learner. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. The DA has described a court ruling compelling former President Jacob Zuma to reimburse the state nearly 29 million rand as a victory for taxpayers. The amount is in relation to Zuma's legal fees during the long-running arms deal corruption case. The ruling was made earlier today in the North Gauteng High Court in Pretoria. Between 2005 and 2019, the state covered Zuma's legal costs for his personal corruption matter, which dates back to his tenure as deputy president. Today, the court also outlined that Zuma's pension may be attached to recover the funds. DA spokesperson Willie Oukamp.
This is a big win for all South Africans. It can show you that nobody is above the law and that you will not get away with wasting the government's money. The DA will not allow that. The High Court has also confirmed that he must pay interest on the outstanding amounts and also that his pension can be attached in order to secure payment of that.
In what's being described as a suspicious move, a Gauteng District Commissioner has attempted to get his hands on all the dockets related to the murder of Vereniging engineer Ahmad Swart. This afternoon, the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry has heard how Acting Citibank District Commissioner Brigadier Mbangwa Nkwashu instructed the investigating officer in the case to hand over all the dockets to him. Nkwashu claimed he was instructed to obtain the dockets to hand over to Gauteng Provincial Commissioner Tomim Mtombeni or face the possibility of disciplinary action. But it has emerged that Mtombeni's office never formally communicated this with the investigating officer. Oren Singh reports.
Acting Citibank District Commissioner Brigadier Mbangwa Nkwashu alleged he was a suspect in the case involving murder-accused Katiso Katie Molefe. A recorded telephonic conversation was played before the Madlanga Commission this afternoon between Nkwashu and Witness B, the investigating officer in the Ahmad Swart murder case.
We got an instruction from the PC to collect all those dockets, including that docket of yours, and go give it to him. And the instructions were given to us as district commissioners. If we are not handing in those dockets to him, we're going to be facing the disciplinary steps.
Witness B told Nkwashu she did not have the docket as it was with the Director of Public Prosecutions. He later called Witness B back and told her that she should keep the dockets with her, raising serious suspicions about his motives. Arun Singh, Eyewitness News.
Gauteng Premier Banyaza Lesufi says the decision to disband the Crime Prevention Wardens program was not influenced by critics who claimed that it was an illegal unit. Since its establishment in 2023, the wardens have faced legitimacy issues from policing experts and opposition parties. More recently, KZN's top cop Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi told Parliament he believed it was an illegally constituted unit. At a media briefing today, Lesufi announced there will be a phased disbandment of the unit as they undergo training to become provincial traffic officers. Thabiso Koba has more.
The Gauteng government says it currently has 8,800 crime prevention wardens on its books. Over the next 36 months, groups of wardens will be removed from their posts and taken to training colleges in a phased approach. Gauteng Premier Banyaza Lesufi says his focus is on fighting crime rather than engaging in intergovernmental disputes.
I have to go to the public protector, explain why do you have wardens. I have to go to parliament on parliamentary questions. Why do you have wardens? I have to go to hospital to check wardens that are shot at because they are not protected, because people don't want to protect them.
Lesufi says the mandate remains the same, and that is to fight crime in the province. Thabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
To the Western Cape now, where public order police have fired stun grenades to disperse a group of protesters outside the Milnerton High School today. Demonstrators led by members of the EFF Youth Command gathered at the school today following the assault of a grade 10 learner. Earlier, precautionary suspension letters were issued to 8 grade 11 learners who were allegedly involved in the assault. EFF Youth Command convener Simangeli Mteli says the protesters gathered at the school in solidarity with the victims.
We are here to call on the management and the principal to order for their lack of response and to also ask a question of what has happened to the teachers who the incident was reported to.
At the same time, the mother of the victim has told EWN she wants justice for what happened to her son. Carlo Peterson has more.
The mother of the 16-year-old learner who was beaten by a group of grade 11 learners was at Milnerton police station earlier today to accompany her son while he makes a statement. Despite 8 of the learners now being suspended, the boy's mother says she's not happy about the way the school has handled the incident. She says the suspension of the alleged perpetrators is not enough and she wants to see the law take its course. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News at Milnerton High School.
And further afield, King Charles is expected to visit the Vatican today, where he will be meeting Pope Leo. Upon his arrival, he will make history as the first head of the Church of England to pray publicly with the pontiff. Charles and Queen Camilla will meet Pope Leo for the first time since he succeeded the late Pope Francis in May. The 2-day visit will mark a significant moment in relations between the Catholic Church and the Church of England. The visit coincides with preparations for the Catholic Church's Jubilee year, held every 25 years, which draws millions of pilgrims to the Vatican. Gold is trading at $4,079.78 an ounce. The rand is at 17.48 to the dollar, 23.27 to the pound, 20.24 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $61.34 a barrel.
In Parktown, heading towards the Joburg CBD, expect about a 20-minute delay. That's on the M1 southbound between Ethel Oaklands and the double-decker section. In Sharon Lee, also bumper-to-bumper traffic. This is on Malibongo Drive between Belaise and the N1, and in Protea Glen, traffic pressure. N12 westbound between the R554 Abu Bakr Drive and the R558.
And in your sport, Pakistan eke out a 23-run lead by day 3 stumps in the second test against the Proteas. Banyana looking for positive results in WAFCON qualifying away leg, and triple header in the Betway Premiership to hit our screens this evening.
A sunny Thursday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Johannesburg dropping to overnight lows of 11 degrees, peaking at 27. Pretoria 13 and a high of 28. And Vereeniging lows of 11 at a high of 27. The top story in EWN this hour. The DA has described a court ruling compelling former President Jacob Zuma to reimburse the state nearly 29 million rand as a victory for taxpayers.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Drive home with John Perlman.
John Perlman, 3 to 6 p.m.
On 92.7 and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
702 Drive, it's 9 minutes past 4. Great to have you with us on the show. Important news about that court order against former President Jacob Zuma. If you missed our interview a little bit earlier with Karen Morn from News 24, she was explaining some key aspects of that. You can pick that up on primemediaplus.com. Coming up on the show in this hour, we're going to be having a 2-part conversation with Joburg's Executive Mayor Dada Morero. Many issues to canvass with him about the state of the city, problems with service delivery. You regularly get in touch with us with your in regard to your water woes, power problems, and more. The Executive Mayor with us at about 12 minutes past 4. Right now, it's 10 past.
EWN Traffic.
Out onto the roads we go. Parktown is giving us problems today. Karabo Chale, what's happening there? Good afternoon.
Yeah, that's heading towards the Joburg CBD. Expect about a 20-minute delay in the Parktown area. M1 southbound between Ethel Oaklands and the double-decker section. In Sharon Lee, also bumper-to-bumper traffic. This is on Malibongo Drive between Belize and the N1, while in Protea Glen, Soweto. Expect some traffic pressure. This is on the N12 westbound between the R554 Abu Bakr Drive and the R558, while in Centurion. Traffic heavily backed up on the N1 northbound between Water Avenue and Rigel Avenue. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
I drove through Claim Street. I went past Bruce Street Supermarket, and it is messy. So when you look at cleanup efforts in the CBD, you're thinking, come, spread it far and wide. Or do you say, hang on a minute. These people have made a living for 10, 12, 15 years. And now this informal market is booming. And because there's an election next year, you want to clean up. You think after we vote next year, those stalls won't return? What are your thoughts?
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
For over a decade, Aluma Capital has had one simple mission: to help you secure the financial future you deserve. Over the past 10 years, they've empowered thousands of clients with personalized strategies, expert advice, and impressive returns of up to 13.2%. Whether it's growing wealth, securing retirement, or planning for the unexpected, Aluma Capital is there every step of the way. Visit aluma.co.za today. Aluma Capital is a licensed FSP. T's and C's apply.
What do partners of the Gates Foundation do when facing the world's toughest challenges? They keep going. From discovering a plastic drape that helps detect excessive postpartum bleeding faster, to developing better bed nets to kill malaria-carrying mosquitoes, to researching an RSV vaccine that could save hundreds of thousands of children. For every problem, there are people who prove that progress is possible. The Gates Foundation, partners of human potential. Learn more at gatesfoundation.org/keep going.
Mom, Dad, you're not gonna believe this.
What's up, bud?
Luke's family has a kitchen.
Okay.
Like a real one, with knives and a sink for dishes. His mom was just standing there, making food with her hands. There was a fridge full of vegetables, even broccoli.
Not broccoli.
Oh, the horror. Who needs a kitchen? Simply spend 200 Rand or more and you could win Simply Asia for a year. T's and C's apply. Simply Asia, connecting the Thai way.
As South Africa assumes the G20 presidency in 2025, 702 and Standard Bank Group bring you exclusive conversations with the voices shaping Africa's economic future.
In these conversations, you have corporate leaders who are participating and who are very clear in terms of what they're trying to drive. So having the right individuals in these conversations is important for us as a bank. When we start thinking about being in these forums, there is a focus that says, how do we work together to create opportunities for SMEs? How do we work together to close the funding gap for SMEs? And how do we work together to create adequate support structures for SMEs?
Brought to you by Standard Bank Group on 702. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
702 Drive, it's 14 minutes past 4. As I was saying, regularly we hear from you, our listeners, particularly people who live and work in the city of Johannesburg, raising your questions and concerns about the state of the city. Well, today we have an opportunity to engage with the Executive Mayor of Johannesburg, Dada Morero. Executive Mayor, welcome and thanks very much for giving us your time.
Good afternoon, Tata John.
So, Executive Mayor, I mean, when the leadership of the city is asked to respond to people's unhappiness with, for example, water supply, we regularly get told that the infrastructure is aging, money's tight, the city has lots of pressure, and that pressure increases, obviously, with substantial in-migration literally on a weekly basis. But if you look at the most recent Auditor General's report, what we see is a picture painted of a city that doesn't manage the money it has as well as it should. And most crucially, in terms of the way it actually manages its operations, there are significant problems there as well. And I want to just put something to you and then get your response. The Auditor General said that the City of Johannesburg did not coordinate effectively with its entities, presumably referring to Joburg Water, City Power and so on. She referred to a duplication of effort in collecting the evidence required for financial and performance reporting. The consequence, she said, a misalignment between the Metro and its entities on expectations and plans, obligations, budgets, timelines for the successful delivery of key projects. And then concludes by saying key clauses from service delivery agreements were not enforced to foster a culture of transparency, oversight, accountability, and integrated comprehensive planning. Now, there are a number of those kinds of examples in the report, but I want to get your response, Executive Mayor, because it suggests our problems go much deeper than legacy and much deeper than money.
Well, thanks, John. Well, the Auditor General's findings are indicating those weaknesses in the city. And in the last month or so, we've been busy responding to each of the queries to strengthen where the Auditor General has exposed the gaps and the weaknesses. Yes, it's true, there's been lack of coordination amongst the entities. Some are just basic issues that should not have even happened if we were better running the organization. So we've made the commitment that we would run the institution much better and get the senior executives of the city to also play a role ensuring that coordination of the efforts in the city are well coordinated. Whether is it in terms of financial reporting, coordinating matters around expenditure, which is the bigger issue that in fact we're more concerned about as raised by the AG, that our expenditure is much, much higher than our income. The level of collection rate is lower, and we have to improve on those two issues for us to stabilize the financial situation of the city. So the Auditor General's findings, we have a team that is reporting at least on a 2-weekly basis to us as political leadership on how we are responding to those matters and the findings. Some of them, the Auditor General says they are recurring. So we need to ensure that in the next audit, all those recurring matters have been resolved and closed. And that's the work that we are doing now as a team to ensure that we resolve those issues. We've also picked up on the issues in relation to the water infrastructure that we have also raised. And part of the work that we're doing is targeting pipe replacement, because bulk of our water is also lost through leaking pipes. It is also lost through illegal connection, and it is important that we do pipe replacement. It is also lost through reservoirs and towers that have been damaged. They are old and they require refurbishment. On that score, we've started with fixing at least 19 of the 24 in this financial year, and we will do the balance of about 20 in the next financial year to refurbish all our reservoirs. We're also fixing the pump station at the commando system to ensure that we can be able to pump water properly to high-lying areas. So there's an investment that is happening in that area, and we'll start to see better results as we implement this program.
One of the things, just on your first point, the Executive Mayor, about how you're engaging with the issues that were raised in the audit, the Auditor General also noted from previous audits that the Joburg Metro did not ensure that the issues raised in our audit report were addressed. So hopefully we'll see a better performance on that point. But let's talk about the fixing of water infrastructure. Executive Mayor, how are you going to ensure that we don't have a Brixton reservoir situation again? Because my understanding of that particular project, absolutely vital for the city, but it couldn't get done. Everything ground to a halt because contractors weren't paid. This points to the issues around cash management and cash flow as you go about this refurbishment project that you've just described. How can you guarantee we're not going to see Brixton again?
No, Brixton will be delivered month end of October.
But late?
Pardon?
But late, much later than it should have been.
Well, the expectation was that it will be delivered around the end of April this year. There were delays. Some of them were structural in terms of the receiving of equipment and all sorts of issues. I think we only had about 2 or 3 delays in terms of payments, which we have engaged with the contractor, and the contractor has accepted the weaknesses that we have had, and we have cleared that area so that by month end we can deliver. Yes, there are challenges with cash flow. As I said, our expenditure is higher than our income, which creates a problem, and we're trying to address that particular area, and that is why the team is reporting to us so that we find solutions and ensure that what the findings that were raised do not recur. As I said earlier, we must deal with those recurring findings of the AG. So we're on top of the game. We're also on top of the game to ensure that the Brixton Tower and Reservoir is completed by the end of October, and it should then be in full function by mid-November.
One of the arguments that you've offered, I listened to some of your engagement with the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee because questions were asked Executive Mayor about 4 billion rand taken out of the accounts of Joburg Water. The argument that you presented there was that revenue is taken out when it comes in from entities like Joburg Water. It goes into a pool and is then used for the business of the city as a whole. But if you look again at this AG's report, some of these numbers suggest that money isn't being looked after properly by Joburg. And I'll share some numbers with the listeners. 2.76 billion rand in unauthorized expenditure, 354 million rand in fruitless and wasteful expenditure over 3 years, 2.9 billion rand in water losses. You've referred to that yourself. And then this one, which I think will trouble many people because it also goes to issues of integrity. City of Johannesburg paid 972.7 million rand in awards to suppliers with close ties to employees or councillors, which really ought not to be allowed. When you say you're getting a grip on these things, what steps have you taken to deal with the people who are responsible for the numbers I've just shared?
No, thanks, John, for the question. You know that the city currently has what we call a disciplinary board, which is established per legislation. We now have the disciplinary board established. I think we established last year. And the purpose of it, part of it is to deal with unauthorized expenditures, help us to deal with those that were found to have been negligent in managing the finances of the city. So what the law requires is that you then take the matters to council, and council approves for an investigation, which is then handed over to the disciplinary board. I think there's almost about 2 cases, if not 4, that have already been referred by council to the disciplinary board. There's also about 12 billion of that unauthorized expenditure that has already went into council, and council has condoned and dealt with this matter of that unauthorized expenditure. It is important to also note, John, that unauthorized expenditure does not mean that the money has been lost in the system. So it's an important point because it means the city would have received the goods and services. However, the process in which the money was spent or adjudicated was not consistent with the rules and regulations of the city. So it's an important part that we do there. So we're beginning to clear all the unauthorized. And of course, we then have wasteful expenditure, which then requires us to act decisively against those who acted outside of the supply chain management.
I need to...
which is about 720 million that we are acting on it. That is on wasteful expenditure, which means you had spent money when you were not supposed to have, or the service was never received.
Executive Mayor, I do need to tell you what the Auditor General said about the City of Johannesburg's disciplinary board, which you hold high hopes out for as playing a role in dealing with this financial mismanagement. And I'll read it. City of Johannesburg, these boards did not perform their legislated role of investigating financial misconduct allegations. The board at the City of Johannesburg also did not monitor the disciplinary proceedings at the Metro. That would suggest that having the board is one thing, getting it to do its work is another. What makes you confident that this time round that structure will make a difference?
No. Remember, as a result of political changes in the city, that audit report at the point where it did not have a board was not yet established by the previous government, which meant we only established it last year.
Yes.
And it could have been at the point where the Audit General had already conducted work and closed the books on Johannesburg. So clearly, we have then established this thing with credible individuals, and we believe that it will act. As I said, there are about 4 cases, if I'm not wrong,
yes,
that the team has already acted, and the individuals that have already been held accountable. I think one case, the individual had resigned as and when the investigation started. So it's an indication that we are beginning to clear those issues as raised by the Auditor General.
Thanks so much. And I will pick up this conversation with Executive Mayor Dada Murero a little bit later in the show. We've got some regular things that we do, business, traffic, and some others. And then we'll get back with some of the other issues, including the topic canvassed earlier by Bongani Bingwa on 702 Drive around moving informal traders and regulating that part of Johannesburg. That's coming up still on 702 Drive. 27 minutes
In the last
past
24
4.
hours, this is what's happened in your world.
Residents in Westbury are blaming police for a shooting that left 2 teenagers dead and 5 others critically injured. The boys between the ages of 13 and 19 were shot in what is believed to be a gang-related shooting yesterday. The community says if there was better policing, the people who attacked the group would be arrested by now.
Seething community members say that it's just a lip service.
Like I told them, I can go with them to the places. All 4 places that we know. They still taking long. I'm waiting for them.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
Get ready, South Africa. Mzansi Ballet proudly presents Sean Bowen's Private Presley, the ballet, a spectacular reimagining of the life and legend of Elvis Presley. From his military days to his greatest loves, experience the king of rock and roll's story told through breathtaking dance. Starring international ballet sensation George Wade from Mexico as Elvis and South Africa's own prima ballerina Angela Revy as Priscilla. Beautiful singers Logan James and Patience Mahema bring some of his unforgettable songs to life. Don't miss this unforgettable tribute on stage at the Peter Turin Theatre at Monte Cassino, 24 October to 30 November. Book now at Web Tickets.
Ha, guys, you must know your till slip is gonna get even longer. That new Discount Better Rewards card gets you 10% off instantly. Hey, but now, on top of that discount, you get an extra 5% off on over 140 brands. You just hand in your script or shop from the pharmacy. With 15% off instantly at the till. Your discount till slip never looked better. How nice, man.
Andile here with more than just a horse betting ad. Bet on the horses at 10Bet and ride with a 20% free bet boost on your deposit. It's more than just a race, it's a 10Bet experience. Join now at 10bet.co.za. 10Bet is a licensed betting operator and supports responsible gambling. No person under the age of 18 shall be permitted to bet. Betting can be addictive. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line is 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
We're gonna make insurance great again. We're gonna build a wall around high premiums. A big wall. The best wall. And guess what? You're not paying for it. We're gonna grab poor service by the policy. It's gonna be tremendous. Believe me.
This message has absolutely nothing to do with the US government. It's paid for by the King of Insurance, who's making insurance great again. Get a quote now. It'll be the best decision, people are saying, ever. King Price is a licensed FSP. No fake news, just like her insurance.
EWN Business.
Stephen Curtis, a very good afternoon to you. Another tough day on the markets. Not as bad as yesterday, but bad enough.
Yeah, very much so, John. Good afternoon. So the gold rally seems to have hit a bit of a roadblock. Second day in a row it's down at just above $4,000 an ounce now. That's hit mining stocks. Platinum is slightly higher than it was yesterday, but all of this having a drag on the JSE. The all share up 0.13 at 109,042 points. Financials up 1%. Industrials up 0.7% and resources down 1.7%. It's what you would expect. DLD Gold, Anglo Gold, Harmony, pretty much all of the miners down quite substantially on the day. DLD Gold leading the pack down by 5.99%. Raynet up 7% on the day. They confirmed last night their net asset value per share is now €38.87, up from June's figure. Its net asset value as a whole is now up by €56 million. Famous Brands, the restaurants group, their headline earnings up by 8% in the 6 months to the end of August. They also opened another 53 restaurants. It has 3,008 restaurants now across the country. Sibanye is up 4.5%. Sasol up 4.42%. And Sappi continuing its sort of surge at the moment, up 3.86% on the day, while Old Mutual also up 2.65%. You've heard, of course, the CPI figures, annual inflation up to 3.4% in September. I'm sorry to say coffee inflation still at 12%. And then in the US, Netflix had some disappointing results. That's helped to push markets down slightly. The Dow Jones is down 0.25%. The Nasdaq down 0.09%. The S&P 500 down 0.02%. The gold price, $4,066.74 an ounce. Platinum, $1,551.10. Brent crude, $62.62. So Brent slightly stronger, John. The rand to the dollar, 17.38 to the euro, 20.14 to the British pound, 23.19. Stephen Curtis, EWN Business.
Thanks very much, Stephen. Time to get the very latest eyewitness news now. Here's Mbali Dlamini once again.
Thanks, John. Good afternoon. The Parliamentary Inquiry into Maladministration at the Road Accident Fund has heard that staffing challenges over the past 5 years led to the troubling claims backlog. 2 former finance managers have also testified that this situation contributed to the start of inflated settlements of up to 70% for a single claim. The Standing Committee on Public Accounts has been probing the impact of unsettled claims on the fund's contingent liabilities. Lindsay Dentlinger reports.
Former RAF General Finance Manager Victor Songelwa and Senior Actuarial Manager Itai Charakupa are testifying in tandem. Charakupa has been explaining to the committee the drastic reduction in finalising claims from 1,500 per week in 2020 to just over 500 in 2024. He's attributed this decline to the slashing of staff.
During the 2021 and 22 financial years, more than 200 claim officers were suspended with the intention to dismiss them. Most of them were not replaced.
Charakupa added the termination of a panel of about 500 attorneys from 100 law firms who helped to settle claims exacerbated the situation, with the State Attorney's Office unable to cope with the volume.
That led to inflated claim settlements and default judgments.
Their testimony continues. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
The South African National Defence Force has distanced itself from a viral video showing individuals robbing civilians while dressed in military uniform. The force expressed concern over the rise in the use of combat attire to conduct criminal activities. According to the force, the clip shows a group of individuals terrorizing and stealing from community members in SANDF camouflage. SANDF spokesperson Prince Shabalala says the people in the video do not belong to the force, further urging the public to avoid wearing camouflage as it is a registered item for authorized members.
Under the Defence Act 42 of 2002, Section 104, 5 and 6 stipulates that any person who, without authority, possesses or wears prescribed uniform, distinctive marks or crest, or performs any prohibited act whilst wearing such uniform is guilty of an offence, liable on conviction or fine or imprisonment.
At the same time, the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development says its operations have been affected by Microsoft's Windows 11 system outage. A security upgrade by the international company has rendered Windows 11 PCs inoperable. The department says it has been hit by the widespread system error and is working closely with the company's engineers to restore the affected devices. Department spokesperson Samuel Mulipane says restorations will continue in the coming weeks.
The department regrets the inconvenience caused to members of the public and stakeholders and assures all concerned that every effort is being made to fully restore services as soon as possible.
And firefighters at the Cape Winelands District Municipality are currently responding to 2 fires in Langeberg and Witzenberg, respectively. The first fire, burning just 5 kilometers from Robertson, is currently concentrated on a hill but slowly making its way to town. Motorists are being advised not to stop and watch and to avoid obstructing emergency vehicles. The second fire is burning in a veld just above Elansrivier Farm outside Op die Berg. The municipality's Joanne Otto says firefighting teams are working to contain both fires.
A digger loader has been deployed to assist with the creation of a fire break in an effort to prevent the fire from spreading onto agricultural land. All firefighting teams are operating under extremely challenging conditions with temperatures exceeding 36 degrees.
In your weather, a sunny Thursday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Lows of between 11 and 13 degrees and highs of between 27 and 28.
Bumper-to-bumper traffic in the Sharon Lee area on Malibongo Drive between Belez and the N1. Poles off, also expect some delays. This is on Witkoppen Road between Main Road and Stonehaven, and in Parktown driving through the Joburg CBD. Expect about a 20-minute delay on the M1 southbound between Ethel Oaklands and the double-decker section.
The top story in EWN, the parliamentary inquiry into maladministration at the Road Accident Fund has heard that staffing challenges over the past 5 years led to the troubling claims backlog.
Flight Centre's Big Red Sale is back. 21 October to 14 November. Save up to 50% on tours, 35% on cruises, and massive deals on Thailand, Mauritius, and the Maldives. Even local flights from 1,900 Rand return. Now that's a win. Plus, 2 kids stay and eat free on selected breaks. The world's waiting. The deals are calling. So, get to your nearest Flight Centre store today. T's and C's apply. Flight Centre, your center for travel.
It all starts with advice from FNB Private. Because the perfect overseas trip starts with planning. Save and spend in multiple currencies with your FNB Global account and lock in exchange rates. Enjoy up to 40% off flights with eBucks Travel. And order Forex on the FNB app delivered to you at no extra cost. Your adventure awaits. Unlock invaluable with FNB Private. Help changes everything. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider. TC's earn rules and limits apply.
Mom, Dad, you're not gonna believe this.
What's up, bud?
Luke's family has a kitchen.
Okay.
Like a real one, with knives and a sink for dishes. His mom was just standing there, making food with her hands. There was a fridge full of vegetables, even broccoli.
Not broccoli.
Oh, the horror. Who needs a kitchen? Simply spend 200 Rand or more and you could win Simply Asia for a year. T's and C's apply. Simply Asia, connecting the Thai way.
702. WhatsApp John
on 072
702
1702.
Hi John, I just came past the Brixton Tower now, not even 2 minutes ago. Pity I couldn't take a picture of it, and I can guarantee you that it will never be ready by the end of October. The gentleman there is talking absolutely rubbish. Bye.
702 Drive, keep your voice notes coming, your comments on anything that we've discussed today. And just to remind you, Executive Mayor Dara Morero back with the second part of our conversation a little bit later in the show. Quite a few people, I'll get to that in a moment. Let's find out what's happening in the world of sport.
EWN Sport.
Anthony Teixeira, very good afternoon to you. Take over, please.
Yeah, good afternoon, John. Well, we'll start with the test match as Pakistan managed to open up a 23-run second innings lead by day 3 stumps in the second test against the Proteas. The hosts found conditions tricky in the afternoon to contend with as they lost their top order and slumped to 94 for 4. The hard work was done throughout the morning as Senura Mutusami and Kagiso Rabada both struck half centuries in a 98-run 10th wicket partnership as the Proteas scored 404 in their first innings. Mutusami dismissed the idea that it's become too hard to read.
I'm not too sure because we've come back on and got a few wickets. Maybe not. I think it was some good batting. And yeah, credit to KG. I thought there was an awesome effort, awesome partnership. We started off sort of a little bit slowly, but I think once we got into a rhythm, he was exceptional.
Switching to football now, Banyana have a first leg in WAFCON qualifying this evening. They're away to DR Congo. Captain Rafila Jani emphasized the importance of getting a result in this fixture.
This is going to be an important match for our team. It's a very important match, especially for qualification to the next WAFCON. So we're hoping to get a positive result away from home. It will not be easy playing away, but we're hoping that with the team that we have, with the team spirit that we have, we will be able to fight for one another and try and get good results.
Kickoff in Kinshasa is 6 p.m. Later in the evening, there's a triple header in the Betway Premiership. Orlando Pirates against Polokwane City. Stellenbosch meet Golden Arrows. Kaizer Chiefs face Suwelele. Co-coaches Cedric Kaze and Khalil Ben Yusuf weren't mentioned by former coach Nazruddin Nabi in his farewell letter to the club and supporters. Kaze wouldn't be drawn into commenting on whether there was any bad blood between them.
About that, I don't have any comment. And I worked with Coach Nabil for 3 seasons. I wish him very well. I told him that, and I hope that he's gonna find something that suits him in the near future. And I wish him all the best.
There's also UEFA Champions League action. Selected fixtures sees Real Madrid play Juventus, Eintracht Frankfurt are hosting Liverpool, Chelsea up against Ajax, and South African clubs have made a strong presence in the CAF Awards. On the men's side, Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns and Stellenbosch have all been named as nominees, while Mamelodi Sundowns ladies are among the women clubs. And in golf, US Ryder Cup captain Keegan Bradley fears that he'll never get over the loss to Europe. He led his side to a 15-13 loss at Bethpage in September. He accepted he had more wrong calls than positive ones after his pairings and course setup were among the decisions questioned in the aftermath of that defeat, as Europe became the first team to win away since 2012. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
Thanks, Anthony. 17 minutes now to 5 o'clock. Eyewitness Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS the word out to 45142 now. And you could save on car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. New trouble spot, Sharon Lee.
Yeah, Sharon Lee in the Randburg area. John, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic on Malibongwe Drive between Belair and the N1, while in Polshof also expect heavy delays on Witkoppen Road between Main Road and Stonehaven. If you are traveling through Alex Calvin area heading towards Germiston, we still have those roadworks causing heavy delays. This is on the N3 southbound. Expect about a 20-minute delay between the Batoon Interchange and London Road. Traveling through the Joburg CBD, also expect about a 20-minute delay in the Parktown area, M1 south between Ethel Oaklands and the double-decker section. In Protea Glen, there's traffic pressure. N12 westbound between the R554 Abu Bakr Drive and the R558. And in Centurion, traffic remains heavily backed up. N1 northbound from Buerta Avenue all the way to Rigel Avenue. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. Like a businesswoman on the way to the airport after sleeping through her alarm. Bags in the back, boarding pass on the dashboard. She prays she'll make her flight. Hope I make it. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic. It's the potential closing of a big deal. Every story's different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005. In proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Naked people smell expensive because naked people spend less money on insurance premiums and more money on fancy French colognes. Go to naked.insure now. Get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds and get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
The milk steamer was loud. So loud that Lungi heard hot milk instead of oat milk. It was bad. So bad. The milk didn't really sit right with the lactose intolerant customer. It was bad. So bad. Too bad they didn't have Yoko Counter. With Yoko Printer, orders flow straight to the barista. So good. Yoko Counter. Super simple POS and payments in one. No contracts, no hidden costs.
You can become a victim of a legal problem. Wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
How powerful Katie Molefe is. When you get arrested, helicopter hovering over your house, which is not part of the team that's come to arrest you. And then there's a Hawks team that comes to your house to question the police officers who are arresting you, and they're asking them, what are you doing? And then you've got the head of organized crimes who calls the detective who made the arrest and says, what you have done is not fine. Why are you arresting this chap like that? Shadrach Sibiya is not happy. Shadrach Sibiya is the Deputy National Police Commissioner. I mean, how powerful are you that when there's an arrest effected against you, all hell break loose? Hawks gets involved. The Deputy National Commissioner gets upset about something. The head of organized crimes is upset about that. And remember, Katie Molefe is now out on bail.
Clement Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702. You're with John Perlman on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Okay, just a couple of things that you've shared with us, because we asked the question a little bit earlier, this in regard to what's going on at Milnerton High. And I said, if you've had a child of yours bullied, and how have you responded, how did that work out? Or you may perhaps just be thinking about, wow, this is what I would do if indeed it did happen. Now, Masa Huputso says, remember, the bully never needs therapy later on in life, but the bullied ends up in therapy, nor does the bully commit suicide. So, she says, if it happens, I'm at the school fighting the school, and I'm in the parking lot fighting the parents should my kids get bullied. So some of you feeling very, very strongly about that indeed. Still to come on the show, here's another one from Sybil. Let me just share this with you. Hi, this assault in Milnerton is not bullying. It's a criminal attack using weapons, i.e. solid wood bats. These boys, stroke adults, some already 18, should be charged with assault and battery or common assault or attempted murder. It's impossible to take lightly, and they must go to jail and do matric there. So a lot of you feel very, very passionately about it. Many people are suggesting that this is something that you need to deal with and deal with decisively. But Musa shares a story and says, John, one of the parents at my child's school alerted me that my son was bullying her daughter. I advised her to report this to the principal so my boy can get a warning or suspension. And so she did, and so she did so. And he got a warning in a meeting held between me and the principal. This was a big lesson, Musa says, to my son as he immediately changed his ways. 11 minutes now to 5.
702. WhatsApp John
on 072
702
1702.
Dumela Ntate John and Team Kingsley from Germiston. I could actually picture the eyes of Johannesburg citizens rolling into the back of their head with absolute fury as you read some of the figures to the executive mayor, who then proceeded to calmly, talk in almost euphemistic language about, reporting back to political principles and holding those accountable for wasteful expenditure, instead of just calling it what it is, theft of funds that belong to the city. He uses this almost downplaying the crisis that is Johannesburg, it's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, we were, by the way, going to continue our conversation with the executive mayor. Not able at the moment to get him on the phone. We will keep trying to do that. But let's stay with that story on Milnerton High. Protests outside. Police, we understand, using, was it tear gas or stun grenades? But certainly some upheaval at the school gates, but plenty more within the boundaries of that school. Carlo Peterson, our EWN reporter, is with us now. He was right there at Milnerton High. Carlo, very good afternoon to you. Who was outside the school gates? Are these parents? I know that the EFF Youth Command was involved, and we heard them earlier on one of your reports. But give us a sense of what's actually happening at Milnerton High and who is most seized with the matter. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Yes, and so I'm still at the school right now. The protest has quietened down a bit, and it was started by the EFF Youth Command, and then quite later in the day, we saw the members of the Tripartite Alliance joining the protest, the ANC, SACP, and COSATU. There is a delegation that's now inside the school, who are speaking to the principal. They are demanding feedback from the school, saying that the incident was reported on Friday last week, but no action was taken until that video of the incident went viral on social media yesterday.
I would have thought the key person to get feedback would be the family and loved ones of the kid being assaulted. What have they had to say? I'm not entirely sure why the principal should be reporting to political parties, but what's the family saying?
Yes, so we did speak to the mother of the boy who we see being beaten up in that video earlier today, and she was at the police station with her son, accompanying him while he made a statement to police. Police are now investigating a case of grievous bodily harm with an intent assault with intent to do grievous bodily harm.
Right.
What she's saying is she's really disappointed in the school, and kind of echoing what the political parties here are saying, that they did report the incident to the school on Friday last week already, and nothing was done until yesterday when that video went viral.
Thank you very much. Carlo Peterson, EWN reporter, giving us that update from out at Milnerton High. It's an important story, and it's one we'll follow with a great deal of interest. 7 minutes now to 5.
You're with John Perlman
on 702.
Right, let's pick up on our conversation with the Executive Mayor of Johannesburg, Dada Morero. Executive Mayor, thank you so much for your patience as we dealt with other things on the show, and welcome back. I want to ask you, I mean, the city of Joburg is a difficult place to run at the best of times. You and your team and we as the citizens are trying to get that done without a city manager. That's been the situation since December. What's delaying this all-important appointment?
Now the process has been finalized, and then the report should be presented in our special council tomorrow. The recruitment process was done, and the report will then be presented tomorrow.
So why has it taken so long? I mean, I guess you want to get the right people. A talent search needs to be exhaustive, but given the situation facing the city of Johannesburg and its citizens, one would have thought there'd be perhaps greater urgency around this than we've seen.
Well, the process of the city manager takes at least about 3 months because of the nature of the things that are involved in that process. You would know that you'd have to first advertise, shortlist the certain periods. You must advertise for this period, shortlist for this period, do the vetting reports for this period. The panel must then reconvene, conduct the interviews, panel must come back, send the candidates to an independent assessment program, which is called the psychometric tests and all those things that they do, which is another 2 to 3 weeks. And once that is completed, you then reconvene the panel and you take the report to council.
Yeah.
So we are within the period that is prescribed by the law in terms of appointment of a city manager.
Let's talk about something that's been in the news then, Executive Mayor, the attempt to regulate pavement trading and informal trading in the city of Johannesburg. The key feature, as I understand it, or certainly an important component of the remedy that you in the city are driving, is for people to have permits. How, though, do you think that will fundamentally change things? I mean, it is a situation that has arisen out of the much bigger social problems the city faces, joblessness, people struggling to make a living in more formal ways. How are permits going to fix that? Because presumably you can't endlessly deploy people to monitor and manage whether people have permits or not.
So what has happened over time, John, you find that you've got 10 people trading in a particular area. A month later, 10 more people come and they just set up their stores. A month later, another 10 comes. Eventually, in a square meter where you should be having only 10 traders, you have 200. Now, that on its own creates that the pavements are then taken over. People can move freely. Vehicles can move freely. Businesses around that area also get affected. Now, we're saying, in simple terms, let's regulate the environment properly and enforce the bylaw, because over time the bylaws were not either enforced or respected. Now, we took a decision as this mayoral committee that we will enforce. And that's what we are doing, dear John. And we'll also be registering properly the traders. And you'd find that over time, the owner of the store has either passed on, but somebody is fraudulently using the permit, which is a problem also. 2, you find that there are people who don't have permits at all, but they're trading. 3, we've got genuine people with genuine permits who have allowed to continue to trade on De Villa Street, where we have designated areas for trading. That area that was called Dunoza, it is not a designated area for trading. There are markets in the street which are designated. So we had to start dealing with the anarchy,
yes,
as we have taken a view that we are reclaiming the inner city of Johannesburg. And genuine traders are still there. They're trading. They've got proper permits.
Thank you very much. That's unfortunately all we have time for with Executive Mayor of Johannesburg, Dada Murero. If you missed the first part of our interview, by the way, we spent quite a lot of time looking at the management and in particular the financial management of the city of Joburg. You can pick that up on our website, primemediaplus.com. It's 2 minutes to 5.
To celebrate 25 years of helping you live the Premier life, FNB Premier is giving you a chance to win a 14-day European tour experience and other cool monthly prizes. Open any FNB Premier account from September to 31 December 2025. Switch your salary, swipe or tap a minimum of 2,000 Rand per month for 3 months straight. Spend and win with FNB Premier. FNB, help changes everything. TCs and competition rules apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited and an authorized financial services and credit provider.
Zinzi, the Gen Z. Word on the street is you sold your car.
Yes, and you know I needed a glow up. Hashtag no hustle, no hassle.
So wait. The influencer got influenced by We Buy Cars.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And they came to me. They checked the car, they gave me an offer. Oh, and they paid me immediately. Easier than an Insta Live, without the weird DMs at 2 a.m.
I didn't understand half of the things you just said, but hey, We Buy Cars. Geared for the glow up geared for you.
You could spend 10 minutes trying to fix the office printer or get a 10-minute quote from Outsurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. For her 2025 Hyundai Exter, 65-year-old Helena now pays only 398 Rand a month. And for her 2024 Haval H6 4x4, 50-year-old Priya pays just 1,178 Rand a month. Ready to get more out of your car insurance? SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
This is EWN.
Lesotho served with legal papers to reverse suspension of the Gauteng Health HOD, and police ad hoc committee members clash over the Phala scandal. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesotho says he has been served legal papers to reverse the suspension of Health HOD Lisiba Malotana. Lesotho suspended Malotana last week after he failed a lifestyle audit that was conducted by the Special Investigating Unit. A comprehensive forensic investigation has now been launched into Malotana's lifestyle. Speaking at a media briefing today, Lesotho says the decision to place Malotana on precautionary suspension was the correct one.
I received legal papers from people from representing the HOD of the department requesting me in 48 hours to withdraw the suspension of the HOD. I told them to jump to the nearest lake. 48 hours passed. I've not even seen their papers.
Members of the ad hoc committee investigating police corruption have clashed over the Phala robbery scandal and its inclusion in the discussions before the inquiry. The MK party had questioned Police Minister Senzo Mchunu about the classifying of the Independent Police Investigative Directorate's report into that robbery and whether he had any powers to declassify it. But other parties objected to the matter being discussed before the ad hoc committee, arguing that it's not part of the terms of reference and has nothing to do with Mchunu. Babalondenze reports.
KZN Provincial Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi earlier during his testimony raised concerns about Minister Senzo Mchunu's involvement in classifying as top secret the IPID's report on President Cyril Ramaphosa's Phala farm scandal. The matter was brought up again today by the MK party's David Skosana, who asked Mchunu about why the report is classified. But ANC MP Kusela Sangoni Digo asked Mchunu whether the MK party should rather direct their question to IPID.
That if he is looking for information about an IPID report that does not investigate the president, despite his repeated assurances to that regard, he has to approach IPID for the classification of the report.
That's correct, Honorable.
But Skosana says the matter is still relevant even before the ad hoc committee.
I don't belong to any factions. I know it's a very sensitive matter for the minister. And I feel pity for Honorable Sangwe because we're still going to ask the minister here.
Mchunu says it was IPID who classified the Phala report independent of the minister because there were other parallel investigations into the same matter. Babalondenze, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
In what's being described as a suspicious move, a Gauteng District Commissioner has attempted to get his hands on all the dockets related to the murder of Vereniging engineer Ahmed Swart. This afternoon, the Madlanga Commission heard about how acting Sidibeng District Commissioner Brigadier Mbangwang Gwashu instructed the investigating officer in the case to hand over all dockets to him. Gwashu claimed he was instructed to obtain the dockets to hand over to Gauteng Provincial Commissioner Tomim Mtombeni or face the possibility of disciplinary action. But it has emerged that Mtombeni's office never formally communicated this with the investigating officer. Oren Singh has more.
Acting Sedibeng District Commissioner Brigadier Mbangwa Nkwashu alleged he was a suspect in the case involving murder-accused Katiso Katie Molefe. A recorded telephonic conversation was played before the Madlanga Commission this afternoon between Nkwashu and Witness B, the investigating officer in the Ahmed Swart murder case.
We got an instruction from the PC to collect all those dockets, including that docket of yours, and go give it to him. And the instruction were given to us as district commissioners. If we are not handing in those dockets to him, we're gonna be facing the disciplinary steps.
Witness B told Nkwashu she did not have the docket as it was with the Director of Public Prosecutions. He later called Witness B back and told her that she should keep the dockets with her, raising serious suspicions about his motives. Arun Singh, Eyewitness News.
The DA has described a court ruling compelling former President Jacob Zuma to reimburse the state nearly 29 million rand as a victory for taxpayers. The amount is in relation to Zuma's legal fees during the long-running arms deal corruption case. That ruling was made earlier today in the North Gauteng High Court in Pretoria. Between 2005 and 2019, the state covered Zuma's legal costs for his personal corruption matter, which dates back to his tenure as deputy president. Today, the court also outlined that Zuma's pension may be attached to recover the funds. DA spokesperson Willie Okamp.
This is a big win for all South Africans. It can show you that nobody is above the law and that you will not get away with wasting the government's money. The DA will not allow that. The High Court has also confirmed that he must pay interest on the outstanding amounts and also that his pension can be attached in order to secure payment of that.
And in Turkey and Qatar are intensifying efforts to preserve the fragile Gaza ceasefire. Leaders from the two nations are meeting in Doha today as diplomatic and intelligence chiefs coordinate to prevent renewed fighting. Turkish intelligence officials met Hamas officials in Doha last night, a day before top-level talks between Turkey's president and his Qatar counterpart. All meetings were behind closed doors, with both sides cautious to avoid jeopardizing what diplomats say is a highly sensitive phase in the ceasefire. Gold is trading at $4,040.38 an ounce. The rand is at 17.40 to the dollar, 23.23 to the pound, 20.19 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $61.32 a barrel.
Accident seen in the Boksburg area heading towards Benoni N12 eastbound. This is before Atlas Road, causing heavy delays all the way from the R28 Rietfontein off-ramp, and in Calvin we still have those roadworks slowing down traffic. N3 southbound between the Between to Change and London Road.
And in your sport, qualifying kicks off for Women's AFCON as Banyana against DR Congo. Betway Premiership and UEFA Champions League to indulge later this evening. And Proteas in second test control after dismissing Pakistan's top order in the final session of day 3.
A sunny Thursday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Johannesburg dropping to overnight lows of 11 degrees, peaking at 27. Pretoria 13 degrees at a high of 18. And Vereeniging a low of 11 and a high of 27 degrees. The top story in EWN, Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi says he has been served with legal papers to reverse the suspension of Health HOD Lisiba Malotana.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Drive home with John Perlman.
John Perlman, 3 to 6 p.m.
On 92.7 and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
702 Drive, it's 8 minutes past 5. Thanks for joining us on the show. If you've just joined us, thanks for joining us a whole lot earlier if you've been with us since 3 o'clock or some time after that. Coming up on the show, we're going to go off to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. By the way, they're still busy down in Cape Town with the ad hoc committee where suspended Police Minister Senzo Mchunu is busy giving answers to questions being put to him. I had read earlier today, by the way, that he was going to be wrapping up sometime this morning. Clearly that's not happening. And I'm going to say it again, because when this committee first got going, I had some criticisms, but they're putting in shifts. I got home last night. I think I put the TV on at about 7:30. They were still busy. So, yeah, props to them for that. You heard from Babalo and Denze a moment ago, some interesting stuff coming out of that. But we're going to spend time with Arun Singh now to hear a little bit about what happened at the Madlanga Commission. Once again, evidence given in camera. We can hear the voice. Clearly, there's no tampering or of anything with the voice, but the individual's not named and not seen. The evidence, nevertheless, is as startling today as it was yesterday. So that's all coming up. We'll give you some music in the last half an hour of the show. And somebody is going to the South African Future Trust conference that's coming up. It's a wonderful opportunity, and there's a chance for you to be one of the people who wins 5 tickets. All that and more on 702 Drive. It's 10 past 5.
702. WhatsApp John.
On 072
702
1702.
Afternoon, John. So I've just listened to Executive Mayor Dada Moreira's interview with you, and he's doing like a media blitz, I think, around Johannesburg. I think this is all leading up to local government elections next year. Johannesburg's just, it's creaking at the seams, creaking at the seams. And I think decades of mismanagement are almost impossible to turn around. My neighborhood of Yeovil and Observatory is an infrastructural wreck, as is Hillbrow, the inner city, parts of Parktown, parts of Houghton. I don't go north much, but I'm sure it's everywhere. Yeah, it's depressing, and so much money wasted, and people resign, they don't get arrested, they don't get charged, they don't have their assets seized, everyone just seems to get away with doing whatever they want to get away with.
Hi, John. Look, obviously, the ANC as a governance of choice, its days are gone. But we appreciate, the attempts of cleaning the city, though it's a bit too late, too late, but it's appreciated. This will then assist whichever government comes after elections to continue. Hopefully, it will be a progressive government, not one of those that they are pro-anarchy in the name of people are feeding themselves. So yeah, we appreciate what the mayor's doing, but too late. You can't vote for ANC.
Yeah, thank you for that feedback. And as I said, if you missed the interview with the mayor, primemediaplus.com is where you can pick up on this and indeed anything else you've missed on what's been another really interesting day on 702. It's 12 minutes past 5.
EWN Traffic.
Eyewitness Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS the word out to 45142 now. You could save on car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand. Out in Boksburg, bad news, an accident. We hope that it's not too severe in terms of injuries or worse. But Karabo Chale, the implications of that and everything else for what's happening on the roads, please.
Well, if you're heading towards Benoni, yes, you can expect heavy delays. That's in the Boksburg area, N12 eastbound. There's an accident scene just before Atlas Road, and this is causing about a 30-minute delay all the way from the R28 Rietfontein off-ramp. Sunwood Park, still in Boksburg, heading towards Brakpan. Roadworks causing huge delays. N17 eastbound between Osborne Road and Carnival City. In Calvin Alex area, we still have those roadworks causing some delays. This is on the N3 southbound heading towards Germiston between the Patlu interchange and London Road. Sharon Lee, bumper-to-bumper traffic on Malibongwe Drive between Pelez and the N1, while in Polsof, expect heavy delays on Witkoppen Road between Main Road and Stonehaven. In Parktown, traveling through the Joburg CBD, there's about a 20-minute delay on the M1 southbound between Ethel Oaklands and the double-decker section, while in Protea Glen, traffic pressure N12 westbound between the R554 Abu Bakr Drive and the R558. And finally in Centurion, there's heavy delays on the N1 northbound between Buerta Avenue and Rigel Avenue. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever late excuse number 93. You stopped to help a family of ducks cross the street. What a tall tale. Fortunately, with the OUTsurance pointsmen on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The OUTsurance pointsmen easing traffic congestion and getting you there quickly and safely since 2005. OUTsurance really means it when they say you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, show them some love online using hashtag pointsmenlove. OUTsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Africa Milani.
Weekday mornings,
4 to 6.
What have been some of the main takeaways from the 4 days now that the Member of Parliament, Senzo Mchunu, has been leading his own evidence, but also facing questions from other members of Parliament at that ad hoc committee?
What we observed, he made a second attempt to provide with evidence that there was an attempt by General Mkhwanazi to make a certain kind of threat. He dismissed the suggestions that he planned to dine with San Jose and Masala.
Professor Jacob Mofokeng, an independent crime and security expert.
Africa Milani.
4 to 6 on 702.
Study your law degree at Regenesis Law School in Sandton or online and build a successful future with leading multinational corporations. Or you could launch your own legal practice. A Regenesis Law degree is profoundly transformational, shaping intellectually sharp, fearless warriors of justice and purpose-driven lawyers. Regenesis is Africa's fastest-growing education institution with 1,000 multinational clients across 12 countries and a faculty of 100 industry experts. Enroll now for your law degree at Regenesis Law School. Do it at law.regenesis.net.
Unlock exciting bonus prizes when you top up your Betway account with a Betway Bucks voucher. From millions in cash and bonuses to extra bets and so much more, every top up is a chance to score big. Head over to leading retailers including Pick n Pay, Checkers, Pep Stores, and Incredible Connection and top up with Betway today. Terms and conditions apply. Betway is licensed and regulated by the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. No persons under the age of 18 are permitted to gamble. South African Responsible Gambling Program toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Winners know when to stop.
You can become a victim of a legal problem. Wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS Legal to 48721. That's legal to 48721. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
So, still going on, the ad hoc parliamentary committee looking into issues around corruption in the police and problems in the criminal justice system. And today, more evidence at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, this time from somebody known only as Witness B, but in common with the previous person testifying this week, Witness A, someone very much involved in the police trying to deal with organized crime. Oren Singh, our EWN colleague, once again keeping a close eye on things and joining us now on 702 Drive. Oren, a very good afternoon to you. First of all, as we did last time, just some perspective, a brief profile of what the witness had to say, who the witness is, and then we'll get into some of their key content.
Good afternoon, John. Well, Witness B is the investigating officer in the high-profile murder case of Vereniging engineer Armand Swart. If you recall, Armand Swart was shot 23 times outside his company, QTech, in Vereniging in April last year, April 17th to be exact. And she's part of this team that was investigating his murder. And since his murder, there have been several people arrested for his murder, in that of Michael Pule Tau, who at the time of his arrest was a member of Johannesburg Central Police. He was a detective, as well as Katiso Katie Molefe, who was arrested on December 6th last year. He was linked to Swart's case and subsequently the murders of DJ Sambodi and DJ Ventos as well.
So, Oren, are we getting a kind of a revisiting and perhaps shading in of more detail on stuff we already know? Or is Witness B either from a difference in perspective or perhaps a different set of experiences, able to add some fresh information?
I think a bit of both, John. If we look at earlier on today in her testimony, she reflected on how the investigation into QTech started, looking at the links to the Molefe family. And I say Molefe family because Katiso Molefe's son, Tapelo, as well as his nephew, Lucky Molefe, had links to this company, SK Group, which essentially won a tender from Transnet to supply a bunch of products to them that they had acquired from QTech. But they had inflated the prices of these products by almost 4,600%.
Goodness.
And it resulted in 1.2 million rand being paid to the SK Group when it essentially should have been only a couple of tens of thousands of rands for these products. Now, that was the subject of intense scrutiny and investigation by Jeff Wicks in his News 24 pieces related to Armand Swart. So that covers the stuff that we've sort of seen already out in the media. But some of the new stuff is interesting in that she spoke about possible, what she refers to as interference in the ballistic reports that was being compiled at Silverton lab in Pretoria by the detective, suggesting that when they got confirmation that the ballistics report into Armand Swart's murder was ready, she went to meet with this detective at Silverton, who told her that, look, this report contains information with links to high-profile people, as well as other crimes such as cash and transits. But this was in contradiction to the actual report they received. And when they got this report in their hands, it had nothing to say about high-profile figures and cash in transit. And she raised this with the detective, who then turned around and said, no, I don't know what you're talking about. But also interesting enough that initial report, that was the ballistics report at Silverton, was then deleted on their ballistic system, SAPS's ballistic system.
Right.
And it was deleted on the 6th of December. And that date is very crucial because that was the day that police raided Katiso Katie Molefe's home and arrested him. Essentially what happened thereafter is they sent the ballistics evidence to a ballistics lab in KZN for a second opinion. And that's how things had gotten there. So she suggests that there was possible interference and deliberate delays regarding those ballistic reports.
Let's just spend a little time stepping back from the details you've just shared with us, Oren, and reflect on what it's telling us. Because it creates this impression for me, and I'd love to get your take, that had it not been for Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi dropping the bombshell that he did by way of his press conference, I'm not just talking about the content, but the very fact that he did what he did, there would be officers like Witness A and Witness B just soldiering on in the face of what appears to be, if all this turns out to be true, blatant criminality from within the police. Did you get a sense of how they kept going and pushing on, despite the fact that their own colleagues were blocking their work?
I think definitely both Witness A and Witness B have testified to that extent that they knew that this was a high-profile investigation. Being called in for a meeting and a briefing for the head of organized crime in the country, Major General Richard Subiri, they knew that this was something big. They were constantly being pressurized to divulge information related to the dockets, people wanting to know what's going on. And there was a lot of pressure on them as a team. But I think essentially they stuck to what they know, and they kept a lot of the information or the cards close to their chest and only briefed their direct commander, who also told them that, look, there's a lot of people and a lot of eyes on this case, given the fact that it's related to some high-profile business people, and that of Katie Molefe. And so you guys should not divulge information to a lot of people, even the head of organized crime. Don't brief him on things. Just brief me and possibly even the head of crime intelligence, Dumisani Khumalo. So I think in a nutshell, John, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi's briefing, while I think there may be a certain agenda that was trying to be pushed with it, I also think in the testimony that we've heard this week, we're really getting to the grips of what ordinary people within SAPS are facing on a constant daily battle. And this is speaking to high-profile investigations, but just think to the ground level on what detectives are having to deal with when it comes to just ordinary murder cases that don't involve high-profile people. So it's giving us a glimpse into how difficult it is to be a police officer in this day and age in South Africa.
Oren, do you get a sense yet? I mean, I know this. I understand Witness C still to come, and I don't know if Witness B finished today. You'll clarify that in a moment. But from what we've heard so far, I get a sense of a huge personal cost that people soldiering on as you've just described are actually paying. I'm just wondering what the personal impact of this on them might have been.
Well, Witness B concluded for today, and she's set to resume tomorrow. But she touched on it a little bit, and Witness A spoke to it at length towards his conclusion yesterday, even breaking down while reading the conclusion of his statement and the Madlanga Commission having to adjourn for a bit so he could compose himself because he was on the brink of basically breaking down, suggesting that their lives have been turned upside down. They didn't realize at the time when they would investigate just what seemed like an ordinary assassination, as we've all come to live with in South Africa, it happens every day, that in that of Armand Swart would lead to this massive can of worms that they would open, and the amount of pushback they would receive from really high-profile individuals within SAPS, and the amount of pressure they would receive regarding this case. But I think, if one thing we can say around the crime intelligence and the whole debacle that's engulfed that unit, I think crime intelligence, from what we hear from Witness A and B, took it upon themselves to say, look, these detectives are doing a lot of hard work and they're trying to expose some sort of rot in Gauteng, and so they need to be protected. For 3 months, John, they said that last year they were away from their families. They couldn't even disclose the location at the safe houses they were sent to, where they were to their families. They spent Christmas, New Year's Day, New Year's Eve there away from their families and friends, not being able to tell them where they were and what they were getting up to. So their lives was essentially turned upside down, and you can only feel for these police officers that had that sort of protection. I mean, what about the other whistleblowers in this country that don't get that protection, that blow the whistle and essentially are killed? So, yeah, twofold, John.
Thank you so much. Oren Singh. Oren back, I'm sure, listening to the rest of Witness B's testimony tomorrow, and then more to come with a third witness, the sense I get also from a police unit very much involved in dealing with organized crime. 27 minutes past 5.
In the last 24 hours, this is what's happened in your world.
Residents in Westbury are blaming police for a shooting that left 2 teenagers dead and 5 others critically injured. The boys between the ages of 13 and 19 were shot in what is believed to be a gang-related shooting yesterday. The community says if there was better policing, the people who attacked the group would be arrested by now.
Seething community members say that it's just a lip service.
Like I told them, I can go with them to the places. All 4 places that we know. They still taking long. I'm waiting for them.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent.
Jozi is about to bring the heat. The Discovery Vitality Chicken Run, flavored by Nando's, is happening on Saturday, 8 November at 5 p.m. Go 5K or 10K run, walk, or just soak up that Jozi summer air. Not tough enough? I think you are, because if you've ever sprinted for a taxi, dodged potholes, or climbed stairs when the power was out, your training has already begun. Grab your crew, lace up, and move Jozi forward. Find the Discovery Vitality Chicken Run on racepass.com to enter. The Discovery Vitality Chicken Run, flavored by Nando's. It's a run for everyone.
Psst. Hey, no longer feeling like the man you used to be? The man who introduces himself and people say, I know.
The fact is, 95% of men with low testosterone go untreated.
Vitalamin High Performance Supplements for Men helps recharge energy, regain lean muscle, and reload performance. Available at all good pharmacies and vitalamin.co.za.
Vitalamin.
Don't get older. Get better.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for optometrists, surgeons, and other medical specialists. Here's Chrissy.
Business Outsurance is the best insurer for my business. They have great premiums, wonderful service. I know without a doubt that Outsurance has my back, and You always get something out with Outsurance.
Switch to business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Coming up, who will the next winner of 5 tickets to the South African Future Trust Summit at the Sandton Convention Centre on 5th and 6th of November be? Send a WhatsApp to 072-702-1702 telling us how you would benefit from attending. Make sure to include the keyword SAFT with your name and ID number. Stay tuned to find out on 702.
EWN Business.
Stephen Curtis, good afternoon.
Afternoon to you, John. Well, still another tough day on the JSE, mainly because the gold price so much lower. So the all share ending the day down 0.06% at 108,837 points. Financials up 1.2%. Industrials up 0.57%, but resources down 2.37%. So gold dramatically down yesterday. That continues today and really is the first sort of spanner in the works of the gold run that we've seen, although the structural reasons for the high gold price haven't really changed. DRD Gold ending the day down nearly 6%. Harmony down 5.3%. Anglo Gold as well. Goldfields and many of the others down too. The Foschini Group down another 2% on the day, John, after their update yesterday. That really did send shockwaves. They were down dramatically yesterday, down again today. And some of the platinum shares like Valterra down as well. Raynet up 7.87%. Their net asset value per share is up. Their net asset value as a whole up by 56 million euros. Sasol is up 4.5%, and then some of the financials. So Old Mutual and one or two of the others are up very strongly. Old Mutual's up 3%, in fact, on the day. MTN up 2.77 as well. Famous Brands confirming their headline earnings up by 8% in the 6 months to the end of August, made a profit of just under 400 million rand. And then just to remind you, annual inflation 3.4% in September. That does put the Reserve Bank needs to scramble the eggs a little bit. They say that they're targeting a 3% inflation target. By the way, talking of scrambling eggs, egg prices are lower now than they were a year ago, and that's because of the end of the avian flu. But maize meal inflation is up by 9.5%, and coffee inflation is at 12%. Wall Street opened muted today, mainly because of poor results from Netflix, of all companies. The Dow Jones is down 0.25%. The Nasdaq is down half. And the S&P 500 is down 0.23%. The gold price right now, $4,036.16. Platinum, $1,545.02. And then Brent crude slightly up today, $62.51. The rand to the dollar, 17.39. To the euro, 20.18. To the British pound, 23.24. On the Money Show tonight, we'll talk a little bit more about the gold price. We'll talk about AI and the word bubble, and we will also speak to Melvin Lobega, someone who really has succeeded at everything he's put his hands to, whether it's sport, whether it's the SRC at UCT, whether it's actuarial science, or more interestingly for us, whether it's starting a massive online training platform. You'll hear him from 7:30. Stephen Curtis, EWN Business.
Thanks, Stephen. News time now with Mbali Dlamini. Good afternoon.
Thanks, John. Good afternoon. A delegation of the Tripartite Alliance and members of the EFF Youth Command are currently meeting with Milnerton High School management to demand feedback related to the assault of a grade 10 learner by a group of older boys at that school. The ANC, SACP and COSATU joined the EFF Youth Command in a protest outside the school today. Police used stun grenades to prevent the protesters from entering the school. Carlo Peterson is there.
A group of 4 members of the ANC, SACP, COSATU and the EFF Youth Command has entered the school premises to meet with the principal. The delegation is demanding answers from the school, saying the incident was reported on Friday last week, but no action was taken until a video of the incident went viral on social media yesterday. ANC Western Cape spokesperson Khalid Saeed is part of the delegation.
What was the school doing? And this is our question. What was the leadership of the school and the governing body doing from then up until now?
The protesters say they will not leave the school gates until they get feedback from the school. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News at Milnerton High School.
Back here in Johannesburg, one of the survivors of the deadly Westbury shooting in Johannesburg says the attack on him and his friends was driven by hate. The 19-year-old is the first of 5 victims who survived the ordeal to be discharged from hospital. Yesterday, a group of 4 teenagers opened fire on the group of 7, killing 2 and injuring 5. Police suspect the motive behind the shooting is gang-related, but survivor Carl Mento says he and his friends are not affiliated to any gangs. Thandoluhle Ngcobo reports.
19-year-old Carl Mento recalls yesterday's traumatic shooting.
We were sitting here on a stoop yesterday, so about 4 guys came in, started shooting at us, and my friend tried to protect me.
Wearing a black hooded jacket with a dark green beanie, he tried to cover his injuries. Mento sustained a gunshot wound to his right ear. His friend who tried to protect him is one of the 2 who didn't survive.
When he shot me in my ear, it lay over me. They shot him in the neck and in the back.
He adds that he knows exactly who shot at him and his friends.
Honestly, the guy who put a seat on us, he stay about us brown house here. Not scared to say it's Avery. That guy doesn't like us.
Mento says the same group has targeted him and his friends before, but this time they had nowhere to run. Thandoluhle Ngcobo, Eyewitness News.
An Action SA says it has not ruled out the possibility of its leader, Herman Mashaba, being the appointed as the party's mayoral candidate for the city of Johannesburg in the upcoming municipal elections. The party has announced it will be opening internal applications next week, allowing members to apply to become its mayoral candidate in the metro. There have been questions about whether Mashaba is willing to lead Action SA's campaign in Joburg following the DA's decision to field Helen Zille as its candidate. Action SA National Chairperson Michael Beaumont says while Mashaba has not yet decided if he will contest, he believes Mashaba is the best person for the job.
But ultimately it has to be an individual choice that he and his family will need to make. And ultimately we will just have to wait and see. Action SA is also not a party, though, that can only live and die on one particular leader, because competition is a good thing. There might be a number of young, bright, very capable people in Johannesburg who want to put their hands up and to compete, and we don't want to deny them that opportunity as well.
A sunny Thursday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Lows of between 11 and 13 degrees and highs of between 27 and 28.
Boksburg, Ekurhuleni accident scene N12 eastbound before Atlas Road, causing heavy delays all the way from the R28 Rietfontein off-ramp. Sunwood Park, Boksburg, also roadworks causing huge delays. N17 eastbound between Osborne Road and Carnival City. And finally in Parktown, driving through the Joburg CBD, expect about a 20-minute delay. This is on the M1 southbound between Ethel Oaklands and the double-decker section.
The top story in EWN, a delegation of Tripartite Alliance members and the EFF Youth Command are currently meeting with the Milnerton High School management to demand feedback related to the assault of a grade 10 learner.
10 years ago, Illuma Capital set out with one goal: to help people like you build a legacy for tomorrow. Through personalized strategies and unwavering dedication, we've been instrumental in helping our clients achieve their financial dreams. Whether it's securing retirement, growing wealth, or planning for the unexpected. For a decade, we've been trusted to guide your financial journey with expertise and care. Visit illuma.co.za today. Illuma Capital is a licensed FSP. T's and C's apply.
Live extra with Checkers, SA's #1 in value supermarket. Save big on deals like a Quelle Natural Still or Sparkling Spring Water, a 500ml 6-pack for $36.99. Kellogg's Cornflakes cereal 1 kg for $74.99. And buy 3 Colgate selected toothpastes, 50 or 75ml, and get the cheapest one free. Valid until Sunday at Checkers, Checkers Hyper, or shop on 6060.
In a world where safety matters, you deserve protection you can trust. CIRA regulates South Africa's private security industry, ensuring only trained and qualified providers serve the public. From bodyguards and assets in transit to electronic security, investigations, event safety, locksmiths, and guarding. Every service must meet the highest standards. CIRA, protecting you and those who protect you.
Naked people never skip leg day. Because naked people spend less time on insurance admin, they've got more time for lunges and Romanian deadlifts. With Naked, you can cover your car, home, and stuff in seconds, and it's all online, so that means no long phone calls. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and start working out like naked people. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
EWN Sport.
Right, let's catch up with the very latest sports news. Women's football, Banyana. Oh, where exactly, Anthony Teixeira? Big game tonight in the qualifying campaign.
Yeah, good afternoon, John. It is the first leg of the WAFCON qualifying for Banyana. That's out in Kinshasa for the away clash against DR Congo. Less than 20 minutes away from kickoff. Captain Rafilo Jane says they're well prepared for that challenge.
Obviously, when we play every team, we try to analyze and try to see what we might face when we play. So we saw DRC at the previous WAFCON. So we know also with the changes that are happening with the team. So all we have to do now is to try and prepare ourselves very well for whatever will come on match day.
Back home, we have the 3 Betway Premiership fixtures kicking off at 7:30. Orlando Pirates against Polokwane City. Stellenbosch meet Golden Arrows. Kaizer Chiefs facing Siwalele. Amakosi co-coach Cedric Kaze admits some of the players have had confidence dented by the online reaction and instances of glaring misses in front of goals and mistakes leading to disallowed goals.
Sometimes a player, he misses a goal and, the next day social media, they just kill him. And, that takes a lot of time to, to build back the confidence. But, we need to be strong mentally as well because this is a big club and there is nothing we can do. We have to make sure that we understand the importance of everything we do and we keep going.
Match day 3 of the UEFA Champions League will conclude this evening. Selected fixtures has Chelsea playing Ajax, Real Madrid meet Juventus, Spurs in Monaco, Bayern a take on Club Brugge, while Liverpool are in Germany against Eintracht Frankfurt. The Reds are on a 4-match losing streak across all competitions, and here's their coach Arne Slot.
It should not matter if we win or lose a game of football for the next one. The aim is, if you play for Liverpool, if you wear this shirt, is to win every single game. So if we win 7 in a row, how we started the season, now we've lost the last 4. So now, of course, we want to see Liverpool winning again. But like I said, that is not different than when you lost 4 in a row or when you won 4 in a row. But it is just what is expected of you if you play for Liverpool.
Switching to cricket now, where the Proteas piled the pressure on Pakistan in the second test. Simon Harmer took 3 wickets with Kagiso Rabada another as the hosts scrambled to 94 for 4 by day 3 stumps in their second innings, leading by just 23 runs. Throughout the day, we witnessed brilliant half-centuries from Senuran Mutusami and Kagiso Rabada. Mutusami says the prep work done at home gave them some added confidence.
You have to have different options against the spinning ball and whether the ball's holding on the surface. It's not always a true surface backup, so I think that's helped with the preparation to lead into these subcontinent series.
And the battle for top spots of the Women's Cricket World Cup group stage is underway. Australia need 35 runs from 76 deliveries in order to beat England. They did have a bit of a collapse earlier today as their top 4 went for just 68 runs. Since then, they've managed to restabilise. Sutherland on 86 alongside Gardner on 79. They're chasing 245 for victory. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
Right, let's get out onto the roads. Delays in Paulshof and some problems in some other places. Here's Karabo Chale to tell us exactly what's going on. Good afternoon.
Yeah, you can expect delays in the Witkoppen area. That's in Paulshof on Witkoppen Road between Main Road and Stonehaven, while in Parktown heading towards the Joburg CBD. You can still expect about a 20-minute delay. M1 southbound between Ethel Oaklands and the double-decker section. Protea Glen, also traffic pressure. N12 westbound between the R554 Abu Bakr Drive and the R558, while in Ekurhuleni, there's that accident scene in Boksburg. N12 eastbound before Atlas Road, causing huge delays all the way from the R21 Rietfontein off-ramp, while in Sunwood Park, Boksburg, roadwork still causing huge delays on the N17 eastbound between Osborne and Carnival City, while in Sharon Lee, bumper-to-bumper traffic on Malibongo Drive between Belize and the N1, and in Centurion, you can still expect heavy delays on the N1 northbound between Botha Avenue and Rigel Avenue. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. It won't just be minds in a room. It will be futures in the making. Are you ready to claim yours? The South African Future Trust Summit on 702. Your summit, your way.
The South African Future Trust Summit's premium entrepreneurial showcase returns to the Sandton Convention Centre on 5 and 6 November. In partnership with Standard Bank, the summit will bring together entrepreneurs with bold ideas and big ambition. Join masterclasses with industry experts who will share valuable knowledge on relevant topics and seize the opportunity to pitch your business ideas to leading investors. Book your seat now at summit.southafricanfuturetrust.org in partnership with 702. But we've been asking you throughout the day and all through the week to get in touch with us if you've got a really good pitch to us as to why you ought to get 5 tickets to go and attend the South African Future Trust Summit. Well, give it a go. Let's hear. So, Tabang Mafela is calling us from Benoni. Tabang, you sent us a message. You've started something called Youth Global Enterprise. Tell us what you do and why you and your colleagues would benefit from being at the summit. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Team 702. Wow, I'm so excited to be talking to you. I'm very, very happy that I've been selected, to engage on this topic. So yeah, I am Tabang from the East Rand in Benoni.
Okay.
I'm founder of Youth Global Enterprise. And so what we do is that we are essentially a brand activation, advertising, and graphic design entity. So I work with a whole lot of brands, just try to boost and stimulate their sales prospects. And so what I have done is that I've developed a unique mobile billboard platform whereby people in the community or unemployed youth are able to cycle and advertise different products within the community. Yeah, so that's what I do. And I'm really hoping that I can bring in some other colleagues of mine from the community to join me at the Future Trust Summit.
Well, stop hoping, Tabang, because congratulations. You've won 5 tickets to the South African Future Trust Summit.
I'm so happy.
You don't have to come by bicycle, by the way. You can save that for your brilliant and innovative idea. But seriously, though, make the absolute most of it. I'm really, really certain that you will. It's a fabulous gathering. And I hope, Tabang, that you and your 4 partners in this enterprise get plenty from the South African Future Trust Summit 2025, and we thank the organizers for making this possible. The South African Future Trust Summit 2025, where bold ideas meet transformative investment on 702. Now, what about you and your business? Why don't you WhatsApp us your reason for wanting to go to the summit and join this great event in partnership with Standard Bank on the 5th and 6th of November. We could be calling you back tomorrow. You could be on your way to the South African Future Trust Summit. Give it a try. Why not?
You're with John Perlman on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
So, we can always do some music at the end of the show. It's a nice way to just round off a day where we've done lots of thinking and lots of hustling. And yeah, music just brings out all sorts of stories and emotions that you don't necessarily get from other parts of the show. We were talking a little bit earlier about reggae. I must admit, I haven't really caught up with any brand new reggae music for a while. So when we were talking about favorite songs, I tended to go way, way back, and we might go back with some of my stuff. But I'm much more interested in hearing from you. Simple question. Favorite reggae songs? Send us those suggestions now on 072 702 and 011 883 0702. But to get us going, as we always do, someone in the team picks a song, and today it's the turn of Rifue Litsua, who's got plenty of Marlies but no Bob in your choice. Because earlier you said, hey, no Bob Marley. You were saying, let's get this modern, So I might go back on your word. But Just tell us your song, tell us about the artist.
Beautiful. Good afternoon, John, and to the rest of the 702 family. So this guy is called Skip Marley. He's one of the grandsons of Bob Marley.
Okay.
I first heard him in 2017 on a song called, it was by Katy Perry, called Change to the Rhythm. I heard him in a verse and I just thought, who is this young man with this beautiful voice? So then I just Googled him and I just started listening to more of his songs. So one of my favorite songs, he's featuring Damian Marley. It's called That's Not True. So it's a song about identity and just standing your ground. And it's just a really fun song, man. I really love it.
Yeah, and it's pretty new, certainly compared to some of the ones I've been lining up. 2020, Skip Marley, Damian Jr. Gong Marley involved in the music as well. It's called That's Not True. Let's take a listen.
Now greetings to the world, voice to the one called Skip Marley, alongside the lion in the jungle, Big Gangzilla, the youngest uncle. I know you're drunk in power, brother, that's not juice. I see you chasing meals, my brother, that's not food. When the banana peels, I tell you that's not fruit. Another brother shot down, but that's not news. Don't you fall from grace, brother, don't throw it all away. A wise man used to say, money ain't life, so take it easy. Tell me that's not true. Tell me that's not true. Tell me that's not true. Tell me that's not true.
Favorite reggae song, it's coming in thick and fast on 072 702 1702, but definitely not too late for you to add your suggestion and give us your selection. Looking forward to that. The sound of Skip Marley featuring Damian Jr. Gong Marley. That's Not True.
A wise man used to say,
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9.
I drove through Claim Street. I went past Bruce Street Supermarket, and it is messy. So when you look at cleanup efforts in the CBD, you're thinking, come, spread it far and wide. Or do you say, hang on a minute. These people have made a living for 10, 12, 15 years. And now this informal market is booming. And because there's an election next year, you want to clean up. You think after we vote next year, those stalls won't return? What are your thoughts?
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
Before a masterpiece takes shape, there's a single line that starts it all, until every curve and every angle reflects the clarity of a single vision. And only then does inspiration take its final form. The all-new Audi A5, designed to inspire. Starting from $14,499 per month with a guaranteed future value. Visit audi.co.za or your nearest dealer for more. T's and C's apply.
Huawei Watch GT6 Series, 2025's must-have smartwatch, introducing the King of Power. Up to 21 days of unstoppable battery life in a sleek titanium and ceramic design that's as strong as it's stylish. The Trackmaster with 24/7 heart rate tracking, sleep monitoring, advanced health management, and the world's first cycling virtual power feature. Fully compatible with both iOS and Android. Get yours now from just 169 Rand a month over 36 months or 4,999 Rand at selected retailers. T's and C's apply.
Win a year's supply of fuel with Engine. Plus, stand a chance to win one of 5 double rugby tickets to see Wales versus South Africa live in Cardiff. To enter, spend 600 Rand or more when you fill up at any Engine. 2 lucky winners will win every week. Pay with the Engine One app and double your chances to win. T's and C's apply. Engine. With us, you are number one.
You're with John Perlman
on 702.
Okay, so favorite reggae songs. We're getting some really lovely ones, and interesting for me, different versions and covers of, for example, some Bob Marley songs that I didn't know about. So this one here from Dima, who says, John Legend and Friends cover version of One Love by Robert Marley. I didn't know that was a thing. We might see if we can find time to play it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do some homework. Let's hear some more.
My favorite reggae song is by Coffee, and it's called Rapture. Please play it.
when them see the lyrics constructor. Coffee come in like a rapture, and everybody get captured. Place it up like helicopter, when them see the lyrical doctor. Coffee hotting up the temperature for them see. Me know the man fi but friend me fi enemy. Yo, of course me see people there around me so plenty, but me pocket na empty, me need space. So Lord, yeah, me see them a watch me to a clock now. Must see through me everything for lockdown. Sitting in a the bed, ni picking in the century. A drench me, but for me fire go blaze. And I see him way, so me see the enemy a protest. Whoa, and him could come the closest. No, I can feel still I do the most.
Michaela Victoria Simpson performing under the stage name Original Coffee. Love that. That's great. Don't know that music, so I'm going to...
One of my favorite reggae artists is Tyrus Riley. And one of my songs that I would go to is She's Royal. I usually play this for my wife. And yeah, it has a very significant and deep meaning. You know, it's just declaring how much, you know, I'm into her. I hope you can play it. Tyrus Riley, She's Royal. Thank you.
Natural beauty, you know. Yeah, no, I've never been someone shy until I seen your eyes. Still I had to try, yeah. Oh yes, let me get my words right and then approach you. Woman, I'll treat you like a man is supposed to. You'll never have to cry, no. I know everyone can relate to when they find a special someone. And she's royal, yeah, so royal.
Tyrus Riley. So, okay, I agreed to stick to the no Bob Marley thing. So here's another one that I picked out before we get to some of your own. Anyone remember this? Night Nurse, Gregory Isaacs.
Tell her try your best just to make it quick. Go and tend to the sick. Cause there must be something she can do. This heart is broken in two.
Fabulous voice, I think. Gregory Isaacs, that one from way, way back, 1982. Night Nurse. I like it. Let's see what else you are all coming up with.
Good evening, John. My favorite reggae song, True Love is Hard to Find, by Toots and the Maytals. Mzwandile the Hill Joburg South.
You say that your love was just for me, and that's why I've got to be yours. You told me that a day will never come when you will walk out on me. God, you know that true love is hard to find. Of course, you know that true love is hard.
Some people bringing it home and asking for Lucky Dube. That's the way it is. Thank you for that, Len. And Nick goes with Eddie Grant's Electric Avenue.
Now in the street there is violence, and lots of work to be done. No place to hang out or washing, and then I can't blame all on the sun. Oh no, we're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Oh, we're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Working so hard like a soldier, can't afford a thing on TV. Deep in my heart I abhor
Eddie Grant talking about a legendary part of London just behind the Brixton Tube Station. One more.
Dr. John.
Hey, Dr. John. Hey, man. Peter Tosh, Bamba Clat. Hey, I love that song, man. I love that song. Dr. John, if you can, please play it for me, man.
Peter Tosh bringing us to the end of 702 Drive on this Wednesday. From me, John Perlman, and the rest of the team, very good night.
And now, The Money Show.
With Stephen Grootes, live on 92.7 and 106 FM. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
And DSTV channel 856.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes is brought to you by ABSA CIB, proud sponsor